Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be on this.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
So who do you actually think would win between a Viking and a bear in real life? Like one Viking, a Viking warrior, and a black bear or a grizzly bear. So it's a fully equipped Viking
with weapons.
Yeah, with weapons and the helmet, whatever they had. Yes, a swordsman.
Or
a Viking warrior, battle axe, whatever.
Battle axe.
You could equip him like you would equip your character in D&D. But you have two one-handed weapons or one two-handed weapon.
What about
and
dueling
shield
battle axes? Yeah, like hatchet-style battle axes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I think the Viking could do it.
Against a bear. Against a very aggressive and large bear.
One glancing blow would do it. It would cut the bear open.
Yeah, but the bear.
Whether the bear would retreat at that point, I don't know.
Yeah, I think bear hide's pretty thick. Like you'd have to catch him in a sensitive area, wouldn't you?
Well, it is a Viking.
And the bear is powerful.
I'd probably go for the underside. Like an uppercut.
Right, but while you're getting under there, what's the bear doing to you?
Well, what if the bear came at you on all fours and then the underbelly was exposed?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
That would be the only chance.
I don't know. I think the bear could take a couple hits, though, before it was deterred.
Not to the softer underbelly.
Find out tonight on ESPN. Joe Buck or Troy Aikman with the call.
ESPN 12.
Vikings, Bears. What's that? Oh, it's the National Football League. How you doing, everybody? Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Hope you had a great weekend. Zachary Kubish is at our technical desk. My, oh my, we have a lot to discuss this afternoon. The Edmonton Elks are looking good. They bounced back from a Labor Day defeat, and they legitimately bested the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday night on Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. That was no mistake. That was not a fluke. That was not, the Elks got a couple breaks and had some bounces go their way. No, that was the Elks asserting themselves, making some adjustments, I think, with strategy and with player personnel, and they are right in it now in the race for a playoff spot in the Canadian Football League. I can tell you this, at 3:40 this afternoon, that's in about 35 minutes, Elks defensive coordinator J.C. Sherritt will join us. The defense did things it had not done really in any other game this season, as in get multiple sacks, as in get multiple pass knockdowns, as in actually get an interception. They only have had a couple of those throughout the course of the season. And you know what, Jay, is because this kind of has happened too, and it's happened to other games. They get scored on the first couple drives of the game, and then they really settle it down after that. Like, I want to ask JC about that. Is that adjustments? Is that nerves? Is that just how it goes? Because the same thing happened on Labor Day, right? The Stamps moved the ball early, got a couple scores, and then didn't get a touchdown till the fourth quarter when the game was kind of out of reach. And the same sort of thing happened. They scored early, got a couple field goals. They did get a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but then the Elks kind of didn't really let them get a key drive or a key touchdown.
They did what Calgary did to them on Labor Day Monday. They suffocated them defensively. They couldn't do anything. I mean, you look at Dedrick Mills, who's been having an excellent year, second rusher and leading rusher in the CFL, 8 carries for 38 yards. On Monday, that was well over 100 yards, with more carries, but the running game was shut down. Mm-hmm. Vernon Adams, I said it in the postgame show, has looked awful. Probably the worst I've seen him in a Calgary uniform. 15 of 29. That's simply not good enough, but you have to give credit to that front four. They were making Vernon Adams incredibly uncomfortable in the pocket, forcing him to throw the ball early, forcing him to throw the ball unsettled. And that, you saw, how many passes did you see sail over receivers or not even in the time zone?
Yeah.
Right? So credit to the defense. You're right. By far, their most dominant game. given the amount of injuries that they have on that side of the ball.
Well, we're going to have to ask JC about that as well. Like, what adjustments did you make? How did you get pressure, missing two of your, several of your better defensive players, I guess a couple linebackers, a couple on the D-line. So we'll dive into that with JC. Rankin, of course, had a spectacular game as well, over 200 yards, one super long, the longest touchdown run since Jim Germany in the late 70s.
90
Some people
yards.
are like, the Jim Germany was probably the most Googled Double E alum on Saturday night because some people wouldn't have known that name. Sean Millington had a 200-yard game back in 1999. I think I was on my practicum in Global Saskatoon when or maybe I was at that game. No, I think it was Kevin Mason in Regina.
Who could forget?
Yeah, filling in, had a good rushing game for a quarterback, but I think the Sean Millington game was at Commonwealth. Anyway, big game for the Elks. So look, I got to go with what I've been saying for the past several weeks. When they were, what was their record? They would have been 1-6. Not very good. They had a game in Regina. They lost by 3 points, though they were behind most of the way. They caught up to make it semi-interesting. And then they had the game against Hamilton where Keon Julian Grant dropped a potential game-winning pass with about a minute left. So they sunk to 1-6. They were 0-2 with Fajardo as the quarterback.
Yes.
And then you looked at the schedule and said, okay, there are maybe some winnable games there. But I said, if they can win 4 out of 5, we got a conversation. We at least there's a path to the postseason. Maybe it's not an easy path. Maybe it's not even a likely path, but there's a path that you can at least see in the woods. It's not completely overgrown. You're not standing in a clearing and looking around saying, where's the playoff path? I don't think it's too hard to see. You can see it.
Yes.
They're 5-7. BC's 5-7. Winnipeg 6-6. And then for the crossover, Ottawa and Toronto 4-8, and quite frankly, you now have to include Montreal in that conversation at 5-7. Though that's a problem for me with Montreal being in second in the East. But I may have something to say about that a little bit later on in the show. But there's a path for the Elks because I think now this part of the schedule is tough. They're at Toronto, at Hamilton, 2 Eastern games in a row, and then they play every team in the West. 3 of them will be at home. Because they got Saskatchewan, they got Winnipeg, then they're at BC, and then they're home to Calgary again, right? If the Elks go 3-3, which I think is achievable, they would get to 8-10. I think that might get you in. If they can go 4-2 and get to 9-9, I think they're in for sure. Either crossover or maybe even third in the West. You got to remember, BC can't stop anybody. I mean, their defense gets shredded week after week, it seems, and Winnipeg facing some pretty big challenges here with Zach Collaros, out indefinitely. Is that the word?
I don't know. I mean, I listened to, I know you were at the game, but I listened to what Milt Stiegel had to say about Zach Collaros in the halftime of the Elks game.
Right.
And he pretty much said, look, if this was my son, I wouldn't have him play another down of football.
Right.
Because these head injuries have been an issue for him. It seems like there's been a couple years here where it hasn't crept up, but this year it has. And to see a guy that really wasn't a hard hit. Was it head to head? Yeah, probably should have been a penalty, to be honest with you.
Right.
But that combined with the way he fell, it's just, that's happening too easy. And you got to think about life after football if you're Zach Collaros. Now, if that's the case, I don't know what Winnipeg's going to do because Chris Streveler is not the answer. And if you're going to hitch your horses to him, well, then that's the team that Edmonton should look to catch because Winnipeg has an equally tough schedule. They've got the Tiger Cats, Red Blacks, Tiger Cats, Elks, Saskatchewan, and they finished the year hosting Montreal, who at that point, hopefully with Davis Alexander coming back, that might be a meaningful game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
So they're in the race, and I realize when you do a show like this, you hear all the opinions. So I've been accused of being pessimistic about the Elks. I say, well, actually, I was being realistic because what did I say last week? Haven't beat a Western Conference team, haven't beat an above 500 team that had their starting quarterback in the time. Because when they played Montreal was above 500, but they were injury riddled. So now I can't say that anymore. They beat a Western team. and they beat a team with a winning record. And again, they beat the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary did not goof up. There were not several weird plays that went the Elks' way.
Yep.
The Elks were not perfect. They took a couple penalties I didn't like, for sure. The secondary, especially still in the first quarter, gave up a couple of long but that on the whole, they were better.
Yes.
They were better. And now there is a path to the postseason. You play BC. Now BC has
they already have the
series against the Elks, but if the Elks match what BC does and then beats BC, they'll finish ahead. They lost to Winnipeg earlier, depending on the point differential. If the Elks beat Winnipeg by, I forget what the point differential was, but they could finish ahead of Winnipeg, and then obviously you have to stay ahead of at least two teams in the East and outright ahead of them. One of the silliest things. Well, I don't like how this. Again, I'm done with the divisions in the CFL. They should not have divisions. But if the third place team in the East is tied with the fourth place team in the West, in that case, the first tiebreaker is not head to head. It's you stay in your own division. That's why I advocate getting rid of the divisions. But I'll talk about that a little bit later on. And like I said, J.C. Sherritt coming up at about 3:40 this afternoon. You can get in touch if you want to talk Elks, NFL, Oilers, life. We're going to have an off-topic topic in a couple minutes. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. You can text 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Happy Hour features $5.25 drinks available Sunday to Thursday, 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. If you'd like to chat with us, but often it just is more chatting with all the audience members chatting in the good old nasty chat that is off and running on YouTube. If you are taking us in on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Click that like button. If you're taking us in on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, let people know. Let people know how to find Edmonton Sports Talk. And don't forget the Nielsen Show with Dustin and Lieutenant Eric every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. That is now also found on 95.7 Cruise FM.
Yeah.
All the streaming stuff that we've been doing for 2 years, though, is still the same. Okay? It has not left Edmonton Sports Talk for Cruise FM. It's on Cruise FM in addition to. Okay? A gentleman came in today. Who was that? Was that VR Greg? He won something. I started talking to him. He won something on the morning show. I said, how long you been listening to EST? He goes, just since you guys went on cruise.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, okay, well, nice to meet you. I'm Reid. And he's like, wait a minute. Are you Reid from Ched? I said, yes, but I'm not from Ched anymore. He's like, well, when are you on? How do I listen to you? I said, I'm on 3 to 6. I showed him how the app works. I said, it's really easy. Tap it, type it Edmonton Sports Talk, then we're there permanently. He's like, wow, this is great. I'm going to check you guys out.
Good for you, Reid.
So we're still spreading the word. You can help us do that as audience members. As I've always said, we're building. Like was I not kind of saying all summer, we're doing our part. This cruise, so, you can always give us a little bit of help in that regard because we're still building and this is a heck of a place to be. All right. So that's how you can reach us. Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you're taking us in on YouTube. We will talk some hockey stuff. Ken Dryden passing away on the weekend, one of the all-time greats. We'll touch on some Oilers topics as well. Glen Suitor is going to be on the show. He did the game with Dusty at Commonwealth Stadium. I want to say this, by the way, speaking of Edmonton Sports Talk and Dustin Nielsen, who is the owner of the station, on top of being the morning show host. So at halftime, so I was in my seats with my mom and dad, and Dusty says, hey, let's go say hi to the people in the Play Alberta suite at halftime. We'll have to run over there. He had to run back. And I was like, great. He goes, so I said, I'll meet you outside the Bryan Hall Media Center. It's named after me, So Dusty comes out. We booted over there. We know the man is a legend. Dustin.
Yes.
I mean, Halsey is too, but Dustin, walking through the Commonwealth Concourse with Dustin Nielsen.
Oh, cool.
I just felt so much, I felt immense pride because the people who are like, hey, Dusty, hey, Dusty, hey, Dusty, hey, Dusty, where are you going? You're like, hey, Dusty, the game's that way. Like everything from joking around to just saying hi. He's I've said this before. He's one of Canada's bests.
Yep.
He owns a talk station. He's the morning show host on that station. He does play-by-play for the CFL, and he's just a great guy.
Great guy.
So
he's a celebrity.
Somebody walked past us and said EST for life. Like it was just cool walking through Commonwealth's the concourse with him and seeing how many people not just recognize him, but were brought joy by seeing Dustin in the wild. It just made me feel very good. And then, Dustin and I parted ways. I went to buy some Elks 50-50 tickets. I did not win.
Darn.
But as we were departing, I heard people going, well, that's Dusty Nielsen, eh? And then somebody else goes, wow, he's a big man. Because Dustin is what, like 6'8"? I don't know. Everybody's taller than me, so it's hard for me to judge.
I think he's 6'6".
Is he 6'6"?
He's a big person.
He's 6'6", 6'4"?
Yeah. So no, hey, Reid. Hey, Reid, how you doing, Reid?
No.
Come on.
Well, I was with Dustin.
Maybe they were just,
I'm wearing a hat.
Oh, it was the hat. Was it your Montreal Expos hat?
No, it was my Elks hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of my, I have several Elks double E hats, so it's pretty fun. Okay, so that was cool. I think we're going to have some fun with this one today. The off-topic topic on Friday was a bit of a dud. We have the odd ones that are duds.
Which one?
We struggled. Yeah, we struggled with an idea.
Sometimes ideas stink.
All right, so here's the thing.
It's okay.
There's a woman, what is her name again? Gabrielle Wall. Is that the thing?
Yes.
So she set a Guinness World Record. I have too many tabs open on my computer. Here's the headline on GuinnessWorldRecords.com. Mom with tough soles breaks record for fastest 100-meter barefoot run over Lego bricks. So she's from New Zealand. She broke a world record by running 100 meters barefoot on Lego pieces. There's video of her doing it on a track. An entire lane is covered in Lego pieces, and she runs the 100 meters. This happened in Christchurch, New Zealand. I guess it happened back in January, but I don't think they verified it because they got to verify all these records. She ran the 100 meters in 24.75 seconds on Lego pieces. You may be asking yourself why. Well, that's the Guinness Book of World Records. You know something, Jay? Well, as I've become a more seasoned individual, I have realized that the Guinness Book of World Records, for the most part, is quite stupid.
Somewhat
when I was a kid,
yeah,
there was a Guinness Book of World Records in the library.
Yes.
And you're like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Tallest man.
Oh, look, yeah.
Shortest twins.
Yeah. But now it's like, there are some, we've had the world's longest hockey game here, which is cool, but that raises money for charity. I don't know if there was a charitable angle to this, but this is like a made up thing. This is something like, hey, I'm going to do this and I'll be in the, now Guinness always wants video and verification and you can't just say you did something. So you have to organize something to make it official. But largely you could come up with an idea to do something and measure it or weigh it or time it and get in the Guinness Book of World Records. So our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. What record would you create and then set to get in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Man.
Now, I said to Jay, are we going to do this only athletic? And Jay said, no, we can do, you said you do anything. I think we're probably going to get more athletic things, but well, maybe not. What record could you create and hold to get yourself in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Yeah.
So something like this woman did, she's going to run on Lego pieces. You could have given me 4,000 lifetimes, and I never would have thought of that as an activity.
No, of course not.
For a record or not. Hey, Reid, what do you want to do today? I don't know, wrestle a snake. I wrestle a python. What's the one that crushes you? Is that an anaconda?
Anaconda.
Yeah.
It's like what J-Mo said.
This is like an anaconda taking down a pig.
Yes.
Can I just
Most anacondas fighting against pigs. Like that would have been a record I would have thought of before running on Lego.
Can I just add that I think running on all those Lego pieces, it's not as difficult as if there was a single Lego piece every stride you took. That would hurt. But because it made like a bed of Lego pieces, if you spaced it out and said, even walk it, but every stride, it's one-on-one, 1 foot to one Lego piece. That would be impressive.
Yeah, maybe that would have hurt more.
That's what happens at a household.
Yeah.
When you say bad words in front of your kids because they left something out, but it's one, and it's usually small, and it usually hits you in the exact right spot.
I bet you, by the way, I believe Bed of Lego is a Bon Jovi song.
I want to lay you down on a bed of Lego. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that was a song. Spency 5 cents. I could get the Guinness World Record for driving with your knees. Rip City Step. I bet I could post RWO the most times in the Nasty Chat during a Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne.
Why not try it? Don't get caught spamming. Coob will shut you down.
VR Montenegro, most blood drawn from punching yourself in the face. Then why did he put White? Did YTT punch himself in the face to draw blood? Am I missing something?
I think he did once to see how it felt.
What?
I think he wanted a bloody nose or like a black eye.
Oh, he wanted
wow.
to be cool.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
Get in a real
that's,
fight.
That's one way to do it. I guess.
Oh, I guess you're always battling yourself. Never meant literally, though.
So the off-topic topic, what world record could you create and then hold, like actually do it to get yourself in the Guinness Book of World Records? 780-218-9999 is how you text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox.
I still have pictures in my head that are ingrained in my head because that's how often I took the Guinness Book of World Records out.
Really?
In the library. Like the two shortest twins were those two fat little dudes that were on trikes. I'll never forget it. And the girl with the nails that just spun round and round and they were all
longest fingernails, yeah.
And wasn't it Robert, was it Waldro? The
Sure.
tallest guy.
Oh, okay.
I still can see him in my sights. That book was impressive. This one came in on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. When I was a kid, what was this? There's lots coming in, Reid. I think we struck a chord.
Okay, good.
When I was a kid, I remember the two hottest items in library time to check out were the Guinness World Book of Records and Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
I believe it. Matt at the Garrison, my friend Rob James has most golf holes played at 851. He's a head pro at Stony Plain. Should call him up. It's a good story.
In a
That's
day?
in 24 hours. 851.
Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get him on tomorrow.
Sure. Send me his number, Matt.
I want to see how that works. Yeah.
Corey B says the most cheese slices stacked on a human body.
Is that a real one?
No, I think
That's a great idea.
Now, I think you'd have to go for the craft singles because they have
Yes.
a little bit of
Yeah.
fluidity to them. They, if you
I
went
doubt
with rigid
that's in the
slices-
book. Yeah.
Oh, no way. Now, would you go flat on flat or would you slowly?
You know what, Jay? I haven't thought about it enough.
You know where I'm going tomorrow.
Put you on the spot here, Reid. Yeah, thanks, Jay. That's a good one. That's one I could actually see someone doing. How many cheese slices could you stack on your own body?
I wonder what it would be. It's got to be.
Oh, you get
300-400?
I'm sure. You might have to do it outside.
You'd have to have a good body because you'd have to be still.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. You'd have to be quite still.
You'd have to be rock
Maybe you'd
hard.
have to be
You'd have to
sedated.
be built like a brick. You know what house? Or sedated.
All right.
That's it. How many
while
cheese slices?
sedated, while under sedation,
Caveat here.
while comatose.
Hey,
right.
what's that cloth?
The chloroform?
Yeah.
Here. All right.
This is great.
Oh, my goodness. J.C. Sherritt coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll get fired up for Jemco when we get back. My goodness, he's at the technical desk. It's the Coob.
Howdy, Chicago hosts Minnesota to close out Week 1 in the NFL. Swing by Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road to catch the game with the one and only Lieutenant Eric. It all gets going at 6:15. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson has been named QB1 for the Giants in Week 2 after his team was held to only field goals in their 21-6 loss against Washington in Week 1. The Giants challenged the Cowboys on Sunday. Meanwhile, Kendrick Bourne is back with the Niners, joining the squad on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Bourne has experience with both the Patriots and Niners, playing 8 years in the NFL. In the MLB, it's Brewers facing the Rangers just after 6, while the Red Sox meet the Athletics at 8:05. Boston sits 3.5 games back of the Jays for first in the AL East, with Toronto back in action tomorrow against Houston. And on the court, there's one game in the WNBA, the Sun and Dream tip-off at 5:30. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The show rolls on with Reid and Jay. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
I don't like that people are like making him out to be a villain in the negotiation. Everyone's like, well, how dare he needs to take less so that they can win. Give your head a shake. That's such a crazy attitude. You've seen enough ups and downs, and you lost twice in the finals, and there is zero obligation in that negotiation to take a hometown deal. It's like he should get what he's worth. He's the best player in the world.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Win big this NFL season at the Canadian Brewhouse, presented by Bud Light. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 60, plus prizes like smokers, Bud Light coolers, and a trip to an NFL home opener next season. Enjoy $1 off Bud Light and Budweiser tankards. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
The leaves are turning, and just like golf season, time is running out to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Back to school? Really?
Yay! Really? As things settle back into a routine in your home, you may need extra space. Sentinel Storage is here to help with a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, don't forget to follow us on X, the station at YEG Sports Talk. Jay is at Jason Milne. I am at Reid Wilkins, R-E-I-D, Wilkins like Dominique. The Esties are a week from tomorrow at the Metro Cinema at the Garneau, and we would like you to be there. $10 for a ticket, and you can just email Esties, E-S-T-Y-S, at edmontonsportstalk.com. So here's how an email could go. In the subject line, you would put tickets. Then you would say, hey, Matt, hoping to get 4 tickets to the Esties. Signed, Marmalade Man. And then he'll get you the tickets.
I just took my suit to the dry cleaners this morning. For the Esties.
Oh, for the Esties. I was like, I was just telling a random story.
This comes in on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Do you guys have an FM station now? Or is that just a dirty rumor?
We do not have an FM station.
We do not own an FM station, but the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric is simulcast on 95.7 Cruise FM.
Right.
From 6:04 to 9 every morning, every weekday.
Right.
So you can listen to them now.
Right. And this is no changes to them. Edmonton Sports Talk is who we are.
That's it.
One of our shows happens to have been picked up by a radio station, but we are Edmonton Sports Talk. There are really no changes to how Edmonton Sports Talk operates or delivers its content. Just another platform said we would like one of your shows. So we said, okay, we're not changing anything. And they said, we don't want you to. I'm probably paraphrasing, but that's generally how I understand it.
No, that's about it.
Yeah. All right. J.C. Sherritt, defensive coordinator for your Edmonton Elks, coming up in about 10 minutes as the Elks got the victory on Saturday against the Calgary Stampeders, as we are going to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Well, to help with Fired Up, how about some very special audio of Mr. Dustin Nielsen calling some of the big plays in that game?
Yeah.
Not much on the ground so far. They'll try to go to Rankin here. And Rankin breaks a couple of tackles. And look at this. The race is on. Rankin to midfield. Can he get there to the 40, the 30, the 20? See you later. Rankin touchdown Edmonton. What a run. 90 yards to the house for Rankin. From the Calgary 31. Back to Rankin. A spin move. Breaks the tackle. Down to the 5. He's done it again. Are you kidding me? Unstoppable Justin Rankin. Fajardo with pressure coming. Gets it away. End zone shot looking to the corner. Julian Grant's got it. Touchdown Edmonton. And they answer right back Fajardo to Julian Grant. And that one not even close. Brought out by Leak. And he's looking for a little bit of room. Javon Leak breaks a tackle. And now they'll try to track him down. Midfield to the 40. And finally they'll push him out of bounds as the crowd erupts. And Commonwealth feels some pressure. Throws down the field. Intercepted. Taken away by Jalen Garnes. His first in the Canadian Football League will be the final dagger in a Labour Day rematch upset for Edmonton.
Well, like we were saying, really impressive. I mean, look, on Labor Day Monday a week ago, I think you would have said Calgary defense against Edmonton offense, significant advantage Calgary. Calgary offense against Edmonton defense. You probably would have given Calgary the advantage because of their run game.
Yep.
The Edmonton defense was okay in other areas. Special teams, not even close. Calgary on Labor Day. On Saturday, Edmonton offense versus Calgary defense. You'd give Edmonton the advantage because of Rankin. I mean, the Fajardo and the pass game was, I think, good. I wouldn't say it was great, but good.
Good enough.
Rankin with literally one of the best games in franchise history.
Yes.
But perhaps I should have stated it that clearly earlier in the show. I mean, the second best rushing total ever?
Yes.
Edmonton defense against Calgary offense, quite frankly, not even close by the time we got to the end of the game. And special teams, not even close in favor of Edmonton because Paredes missed an extra point, missed a field goal. Blanchard didn't miss a field goal, and Leak had the long run back that helped seal the game. Because actually on that subsequent drive, the Elks did not gain a yard. I think they might have even lost a couple, but they were already in field goal range, and that stretched it up to 12 points, right? So really just an all-around impressive win for the Green and Gold.
Do you know how many 2-and-outs Calgary had?
Wasn't it 6 or 7?
7.
Jeez, okay.
Edmonton forced them into 4 straight 2-and-outs. And that was in between. So they had their third straight 2-and-out in a row. And I wrote in my notes, I said, this is unprecedented for this team.
Right.
But capitalize. Do something with it, offense. That's when Rankin ripped off that 90-yard touchdown. And by the way, you know I was ripping on that scheme they had there.
So what happened there?
Okay, so they have a scheme where they have a 6th O-lineman that's in the backfield. And I think I know where my error was. It wasn't necessarily the scheme. It may not even be the personnel the more I think about it. They changed their scheme up slightly, ever so slightly. When they had Grahovic in there, he was 2 feet off the line. He was standing behind the tackle's ass.
Right.
Much too close. They brought in Mark Evans II and put him back almost on the toes of Cody Fajardo, coming downhill at defenders. If you watch from the end zone cut, which they showed on TSN, that Justin Rankin 90-yard run, Mark Evans seals off their middle linebacker with ease. With ease. It was a beautiful textbook blocking operation by those 6th offense O-linemen. So forgive me, I wasn't completely wrong, but I was slightly wrong. But they figured that out, and Mark Evans made a huge difference in that running game.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and Rankin, I mean, obviously a couple of the runs were longer runs, but you made a good point. He had that other run in the fourth quarter where he looked like he had nowhere to go, and he took it down the sidelines for a significant gain. He's just been an absolutely dynamic player. And look, I tend to text a few people or talk to a few people after Elks games. Some of them, are season ticket holders, fans. Some of them I would describe as being quite close to the team or very knowledgeable of the Canadian Football League. And I still had a couple people say to me, outside of Rankin, there might be some concerns about the offense. Like there isn't a take the top off type receiver, take the top off the defense type receiver. But also, Hilaire, who was this guy? Who 2 weeks ago, no one knew about him.
No one knew
moving the ball. Benjamin Victor, and I think he's 28. Like he's an older guy, right? Out of Ohio State, some good catches. So as much as we were saying, well, geez, Ed's supposed to know receivers, and they don't have any good receivers, but now we're seeing guys lower down the depth chart being like, wait, maybe Ed has found some guys who can at least step in and play. So a lot more optimism. We're gonna talk about now. We'll do it later because it'll tie into something else I want to talk about. But the Elks' path to the playoffs, there is one. Yeah, like I said, at 4-8, it would have been pretty hard to see, quite frankly. I know it's just the difference of one game, but if they were 4-8, they would have been last in the league. I know, but Toronto and Ottawa would have had divisional tiebreakers.
That BC loss changes everything. Combine that with an Edmonton win,
right? That's
and
the thing.
Now there is legitimate optimism.
Well, this weekend went well. Edmonton won, BC lost, Winnipeg lost.
About as well as it could have went.
Yeah, exactly.
And I forget who said it last week, but I think it was you, Reid. Elks fans should be wanting Saskatchewan to run the table.
They can run the table, whatever.
That would be
Elks
the
aren't getting first. We know that. It'd even be pretty hard to get second. So outside of playing the Elks, Calgary and Saskatchewan can win all they want, right? Keep everybody else down, and the Elks can take care of business on their own. We are in the Banquet Studio, craving a late night snack. Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet, get real, play hard. J.C. Sherritt, Elks defensive coordinator, when we get back.
NFL Week 1 action wraps up from the Windy City as Caleb Williams and the Bears host J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings join Lieutenant Eric for the game at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road with kickoff at 6:15. And for the Giants, the team announced that veteran Russell Wilson will be QB1 for Week 2 against the Cowboys after New York was held without a touchdown in their 21-6 loss to the Commanders yesterday. In San Francisco, it's the 49ers signing Kendrick Bourne to a one-year deal worth $5 million, and there's 11 games dotting the MLB slate. The Reds meet the Padres, the Cubs play the Braves, while the Mets and Phillies go toe-to-toe. It's the Jays back in action tomorrow, opening a 3-game series against the Astros. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Once we get back from break, J.C. Sherritt from the Elks joins Reid and Jay. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Oil Stream.
Is this the week Connor McDavid signs them?
I honestly don't know. I still stand by what I said last Friday on Oil Stream, where he's going to go out there, he's going to say what he has to say. People will read between every line that they can, cause concern for the hardcores that until he's signed will be upset. I think it gets done before the season.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, good to have you tuning in this afternoon. Give us a thumbs up if you're checking us out on YouTube. Also, thanks if you're on the iHeartRadio stream or the TuneIn Radio app as well. We love you however you choose to consume the show. Pleased to be joined by the defensive coordinator of your Edmonton Elks, J.C. Sherritt, checking in. J.C., you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for making time for us. I know there aren't a lot of days off when you're a coach on a professional football team, so thanks for fitting us in. I want to dive right in here with a couple. I believe going into the game against Calgary, the Elks had 10 sacks on the season, and on shows like this, that had often been identified as maybe a weakness on the team. You came through with 4 sacks against Calgary. What changed? How did you get to the quarterback?
You know, I think the guys, when you look at the pressure rate, our pressure's been there. We just haven't been finishing. And I thought they played great together as a 4, feeding off each other, running the games together at a high rate. And, Jordan Williams came in his first one practice and had a phenomenal game for us. So obviously an attribute there as well. And just had a good game.
Several players were injured. Often, that leads to a loss, not a win. I mean, you had about a third of your defense out if you look at rosters from earlier in the season. So what kind of adjustments did you make and the players make to have a very good game despite all those injuries?
I think that's just a credit to the guys of preparing. We didn't tweak our system or change the way we played. Those guys were preparing and waiting for their opportunity, and that's the mark of a professional. Is when your number gets called, you're able to come in and execute it at a high clip, and credit to those guys who did.
JC, no Serezna, no Robbie Smith, but it seemed like a little bit more of a by committee approach last game. I know you said you didn't change the game plan necessarily, but rotating guys through seemed to keep them a bit more fresh, seemed to allow that pass rush to sustain that pressure, as you alluded to. Was that something that you're doing by necessity now because you're with two of your starting D linemen?
Yeah, Coach Maxey does a great job of, he knows his guys. He's watching them closely, and he does a great job with the rotation, keeping them fresh, keeping them spinning through the rotations, and he did a great job with those guys on game day.
Now, this is this is the first time you're a defensive coordinator in the CFL. This is a new group to you, a new group to a lot of faces on that coaching staff. But it's hard to ignore the fact that this defense has been steadily improving week over week. Is that a case of the players on the field gelling and coming together, or is it partially related to that you are learning more about your players and where to put them in positions and areas to succeed?
I'm sure it's a mixture of both. Like you said, this would be my first time going through it in the CFL. I think we're getting a good feel. Just like you said, it's just weekly. I think our weekly approach of chasing improvement and understanding what a CFL season is. It is a marathon, and it's just constant improvement to the finish line. And it's time and time again. You just it's who's clicking at the end has the best shot to raise the cup. And I think our guys are just very focused on every practice matters. Every rep is very, very important to us in our improvement. And I think, it's a testament to how we've played these last couple of weeks. Our day one practice is going to be the biggest day of the week because we know how important it is to our improvement.
Elks defensive coordinator J.C. Sherritt joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I want to ask you about a specific player who I've been really impressed with, and that is J.J. Ross. That's a rookie cornerback free agent out of Western Illinois. He's been coming on, and he's very aggressive. Is that how you expected him to be come game time? And what do you see the ceiling for a player like J.J. Ross?
I see his ceiling is very high just because JJ is a true professional. How he approaches every day, he was waiting for his opportunity, and when it came, he took advantage of it. And he's a pro's pro. He plays the game the right way. When we talk about this organization, what it means, it's a certain playing style. He fits that mold, and JJ controls his destiny because he's got the talent, but he's also got that work ethic. So I'm excited for him.
JC, it also seemed to me watching Saturday's game that your defensive backs made more plays on the football before it got to the receiver or just as it got to the receiver in terms of a pass being broken up or a receiver not being able to hang on to the ball because he got hit. Was that different? Was that better? What did you see and why?
Well, yeah, I think since the bye, you guys have mentioned it, I think that particularly that secondary has taken strides every week that they've gone out there, and they're getting more and more comfortable. The more comfortable you get, the faster you play. And those guys are playing at a high level. They're playing together, holding each other accountable. So knock on wood, and we know we got to put the work in, but that's kind of the expectation. The more comfortable, the more confident you get, the more plays you're going to make.
All right. Calgary scored on their first couple of drives. They did hit a longer pass down the field to get there on one of them. On Labor Day, I think they scored on their first two drives as well. But then the rest of the game, you guys were pretty steady. You didn't give them a lot. Is that you adjusting? Is that seeing what Calgary does early and then you're adjusting? Or is that players getting into the rhythm? Or maybe I'm overanalyzing this. I know teams are going to score sometimes. But, it seems a couple games in a row, and I think a couple other games earlier in the season, too, teams got some points earlier, and then you guys really slowed down what they were doing.
Yeah, I think you could probably pull pieces from everything, players being amped up, offensive coordinators having good game plans. I thought Calgary's game plan was very good early and got us off our mark where we needed to adjust. And it's a consummate thing of us adjusting, them adjusting, and players getting comfortable as the game goes on.
I wanted to ask you because football is such an emotional game. The highs and lows go across the whole sideline. So when you see a player like Justin Rankin doing what he's doing on offense, does ships rise together? Are the guys on the sideline on defense saying, "Hey, we got to get this ball back into the offense's hands"?
Absolutely, absolutely. That sends energy and shockwaves through the whole sideline. Especially, defensive players love watching other defensive players get ran over, getting juked out. We're always huge fans when it's the other guys. So, but he's a leader on this team, and that also matters. When your leaders are doing it, guys you just naturally root for. It sends the electricity the right way.
All right, right back at it. I know you played Toronto earlier this season, and you did beat them, and a couple big defensive stops late in that game. But what do you expect from the Argos here on the weekend?
An offense that, you take our game out of it, they've been scoring 30-plus and throwing for a whole lot of yards on a consistent basis. So an offense that's clicking at a high level. Obviously I've got all the respect in the world for RD, calling it for them. So it's the CFL, and it's coming down to crunch time. It's just every game's going to be a playoff game, especially for us with the situation we're in. So they're in a similar situation. We expect that type of competition.
All right. And I want to ask you about this. You're a coach now, but you played for several years. Is there a challenge to playing games in a different time zone, when it's more than just an hour? You guys going east, Eastern teams coming to Edmonton, Calgary, or Vancouver. Is that a challenge? Is that part of, does it affect the player's prep or rhythm? Does it even affect you as a coach anymore?
I think it's more of a challenge. I mean, I have a 7-month-old, so I love road trips. That's sleep for about 20 hours with the plane and the travel time. But no, I think it's more on the optics, and I think Killer and our organization does a very good job of planning around the times. When you leave, when you practice, when you eat. I think that's important to put you in the right frame so your clock's close. But at this point in the year, I think the juice will take over once that ball gets kicked off.
All right, and just one more for you. Look, you played a good chunk of your career. The team was very good. You played with some excellent players. You're trying to build back to that. Clearly, in most games, the crowd is not at the number that you would have played for in your career. But it was a good attendance and pretty boisterous on Saturday. I know you're heavily immersed in coaching, but did you take a second to be like, oh man, like this feels good? We got some enthusiastic people here, and the attendance, hopefully is going to continue to rise.
Yeah, when Cody hit that corner ball, that was juice, and that was something where it makes you like, whoa, and it feels just phenomenal. So watching the fans come out, and then performing, which they deserve, obviously beating Calgary, which they deserve. It was a special night, and that's not lost on me. Winning's very hard in professional sports, so absolutely, I enjoyed every second of it.
JC, we enjoy having you on the show. Thanks for taking time for us. Keep rolling, man. I don't know. I think you might have heard the end of our previous segment. We were talking about that path to the playoffs is there. So keep plowing ahead.
Absolutely. One game at a time. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Right on. JC Sherritt, the defensive coordinator for your Edmonton Elks. Well, one game at a time is the oldest cliche in sports, but it's true. They can only worry about Toronto right now, but big picture, there is a path to the postseason. Good to talk to JC. You asked a question. I want to go back to it and what you thought of his, because you asked a question about rotating guys on the D line. Is that basically what you were saying?
Yeah. So they were bringing in more than just four defensive linemen. They were rotating through. And I wondered this in the post-game show, if that was actually not a good thing, because, like you said, you're without Robbie Smith, you're without Jake Ceresna. Those are two big-time players on this team. But without them, you have to find ways to get guys into the game. And some of the best defensive teams, albeit at a different level than this, I was a part of, you were rotating. You had a 6-man crew rotating through, 6 or 7. You'd be rotating through defensive. You get tired in that position, especially if it's an extended drive. You're gassed. So to have a fresh set of legs come on, and he said Demetrius Maxey has a good handle on what's going on. And I think, because here's the other side, Reid. Here's the plain, honest truth. Jake Ceresna and Robbie Smith make an incredible amount of money. Okay? Right. You're not going to have an asset like that sitting on the sideline taking reps, rotating through.
Right.
You're going to have them on the field because that's what they're paid to do. So without that in the picture, now you're saying, okay, let's rotate guys through, because I'm not sure they can do it all on their own for every down. And I think it worked out quite well. Having fresh legs is the worst thing for an offensive line. Any offensive lineman will tell you that. When you're rotating through 2 defensive tackles and you're, putting together a drive and you have a fresh guy come in just after a long, 4-second passing play, that's not good for the offensive line. So I think they may have found something through having to have the next man up mentality, in that rotating some of these defensive linemen through is a really good strategy.
Well, and we're hearing, and look, I said it earlier, it's hard to be patient. It was hard for me to be patient at 1-5 and 1-6, given that we've seen 0-9, 0-7 the last couple of years. But when I asked the question about the defensive backs breaking up more passes, hitting more receivers just as the ball gets there, and he says, well, they're getting more comfortable. They're getting more confident, right? They're understanding when that play is available. So hopefully we're seeing the payoff for some of the struggles from earlier in the season, and for some guys, even struggles from last season for the players who were there. And really, that's what all this is all about. And I said after the Labor Day Classic that there were some people really criticizing the coaching staff, like especially Sherritt, especially Killam, and especially Maximic. And by no means are they immune to criticism. I mean, even coaches who've coached for 20 years can make bad decisions and are open to criticism. But this coaching staff was hired to grow together. Yep. Like, you can hate on Mark Killam or anybody you want, but he's here for this year and probably all of next. Right? But I think, and I texted you this after the show, and I want you to ask, I'll ask you to you again now. Was that win Saturday over Calgary, was that a step forward game for the coaching staff, especially the three guys in the key leadership positions?
100%. 100%, because they adapted. They found ways to get the job done. J.C. Sherritt, we talked about this last week. I think he's adapted the fastest and the best out of any of those coaches. I mean, obviously, Coach Killam's he's got a different job, so he's right there. But McSimic's had some questions. He's had some questionable games. Last game, they figured it out with that extra offensive lineman. They simplified their passing game. Dump, 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 dump. And when it counted, when they needed it, when they knew Calgary was blitzing, the old Ricky Ray to Jason Tucker corner special.
Right.
On the money. Well, that's what happens when you lure them up all game. They were setting up that corner route from the start of the game. I mean, Hilaire and Benjamin Victor had all those 9-10 yard catches. That annoys a defense because that's what they were giving them. So take it. And don't think you have to hit the deep shot. Jordan McSimic called a great game, right? And like I said, that's what opens up those plays late in the game when you absolutely need it. So yeah, I do think this was a big step forward and like I've said, the emotions of it all.
Yeah,
like that carries forward in football. I mean, I know football, so that's why I guess. But in hockey, you got to say, okay, that game's over. Let's on to the next. But football, that emotional high can still carry you to week one of practice tomorrow. Those guys are coming into practice tomorrow at Clark Field with a totally different mindset than they would have been with a loss. And now they're stringing things together. They've got the guy under center in Cody Fajardo. They've got the league's best running back in Justin Rankin, or at least most dynamic.
Right.
There's no, in their minds, there's no stopping them.
Elks at Argos Saturday at 1. We will have the Green and Gold kickoff show at noon with Jason Milne and Matthew Awanek. They'll be on after the game as well with the Green and Gold post-game show. All right, happy to hear from you. Of course, you can post in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up if you're there as well. You can text 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant. They have the $18.99 prime rib special 7 days a week, except on show nights from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., available for dine-in and takeout. We got Jay's Play of the Day for Play Alberta coming up.
The Lock Shop.
Losers for the week. The kicking game overall in the league was an absolute catastrophe. I've got to tell you, I don't know how much you watched the Tampa Falcons game. McLaughlin missed an extra point that would have put them up by 4, late in the game. An incredibly costly extra point. So kickers, get it together.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
World-renowned top psychic medium and the star of Meet the Frasers, Matt Fraser comes to River Cree Resort and Casino on September 12th and 13th for a couple of special live shows. Join Matt for 2 nights of healing, hope, and laughter. Matt has become a trusted figure for people seeking closure, guidance, and connection with their loved ones. Don't miss Matt Fraser live at River Cree Resort and Casino September 12th and 13th. Both shows are 18+. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Lobsterfest is back at the Canadian Brewhouse, Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. A pound and a half of fresh Atlantic lobster with all the fixins for just $49.99. Pair it with a stein of Alexander Keith's. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
With Johnson, whoa.
Looking for a smart alternative to heating and cooling your home?
Hi, Dennis from Lease Johnson, your cold climate heat pump specialists. We'll explain how Trane heat pumps offer a reliable, cost-effective heating and cooling solution. Order your Trane heat pump now and take advantage of the Canada Greener Homes Loan Initiative. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. From the most experienced HVAC company around, family owned and operated for nearly 50 years.
Visit Weiss-Johnson.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings battle Caleb Williams and his Bears to put a bow on Week 1 in the NFL. Catch the game down at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge to enjoy the action alongside Lieutenant Eric at Century Casino on Fort Road. Kickoff goes at 6:15. In New York, head coach Brian Daboll says the Giants will stick with Russell Wilson for Week 2 after the Giants failed to score a touchdown in Week 1 against the Commanders. New York meets Dallas on Sunday. And for the Niners, Kendrick Bourne is back in San Francisco, inking a one-year deal worth $5 million. And in the majors, there's 11 games. It all starts when the Royals face the Guardians and the Nationals challenge the Marlins at 4:40. After that, the Red Sox face the Athletics and the D-backs battle the Giants. While basketball has just one game in the WNBA, Atlanta playing host to Connecticut for 5:30 tip-off. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
That's one of our thumb click remixes. Here's the original.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please
People
click.
need to hear this.
Must you click? You must click.
Some people refuse to hit that thumbs up button until we give them that. If you're watching on YouTube, yes, click that thumbs up. We try to get to 100 every show. Now, during the summer, didn't always happen. We're already at 67. So do not be a pleasure delayer.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't clicked, click the thumbs up. If you already have, hit the share button. Your handheld computer will create a link for you. And you can send that link off to others and say, hey, watch this show, listen to this show, have some fun with these guys, and give them a thumbs up. Pretty good. We're going to have this Guinness Book of World Record guy on tomorrow.
I got it. Look at this, Reid. This was sent in to me.
Yes, I have that as well.
Okay, so we'll line that up.
Rob James, most holes played in 24 hours. We'll try to get that on tomorrow. That could be our Blue Cross Courageous Moment.
Courageous Moment.
Yeah, new segment on the show.
Boom.
Yeah, we got some good sales guys here selling some segments.
Not so bad.
Not so bad at all. All right. Coob, how are you, my young friend?
I'm doing well. I was actually going to jump in. I believe Rob James, is it with 2 B's?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know him?
He was on the VIP golf show this past weekend as well. I believe he's trying to play the most, every single course in Alberta he's trying to play.
Oh, good. Okay.
Really? If memory stands me correct.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about. That'll be fun. That'll be great. That'll be a fun segment for sure. We'll have to get in touch with him.
Yeah, he was good.
Okay.
And he will be good.
Glen Suitor coming up in about 15 minutes. He was in the booth with Dustin Nielsen calling the game on TSN on Saturday. I believe at the conclusion of the game, Glen Suitor called it the biggest upset in the CFL this year.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well, we'll get him to elaborate that. And do you not have, now we'll save it for when Glenn is on, but do you not have a somewhat of a celebrity starstruck moment with Glen Suitor?
Yeah.
Are you going to share this with Glenn?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
I don't know that he'll remember it. He probably meets a lot of people.
He probably does, but I think he'll appreciate because you kind of gave me the Cole's Notes version.
Yeah.
And I think he'll think it's a pretty cool story.
Well,
or maybe he'll be immensely annoyed. Who knows?
We'll find out one way or another.
I think he'll like it.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day
is presented by Play Alberta. Gaming made easy anytime, anywhere. With Play Alberta, you have a full casino experience right at your fingertips. Play from your phone, tablet, or computer whenever works for you. Download the Play Alberta app today and get started with a $50 casino bonus. Just deposit $50 with the promo code EST Casino. Play smart, play local, and remember to use your game sense.
Well, got to go to Monday Night Football. The people who were let down on Friday with my Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown, who didn't make it through the first drive. So sorry about that. We'll try recoup it right here because we're going to Monday Night Football. Vikings at Bears. The Vikings have rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Since 2020, rookie quarterbacks making their first road starts are 2-15. 6 of the 7 last Monday Night Football games at Soldier Field were under the total points. And look, Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy, it's going to be a conservative approach. I think there's going to be a lot of running tonight, and I don't think the Bears are much better. So you're going to have shortened game, capping of the possessions, 2 evolving offenses. I just don't like this going over. So that's Jay's play of the day. Chicago Bears versus Minnesota Vikings under 44. That was minus 109. The people at Play Alberta have boosted it to plus 105. I'm not usually an under guy.
True.
But facts of the matter are that 12 of the 15 games in week 1 went under.
That many?
12 of 15. Could be 13 of 16 tonight. If this game were to go under, head over to playalberta.ca, click on EST Specials. Sports first, EST Specials second. You'll see Jay's play of the day. Chicago Bears, Vikings under 44. And don't forget to always use your game sense.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Yes, presented by Play Alberta. Xavier Worthy might be on some people's fantasy teams.
He's not worthy.
Yeah, my goodness. I can update our fantasy pool, my friend.
Oh, wow.
As we're going to crunch the numbers for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallollp.ca. See how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. So Jay and I are doing a fantasy league. We wanted something very simple and very fun, hopefully. We have 2 categories. It's a 2-category league. One category is total touchdowns by a quarterback.
Passing or running.
The other category is total length of field goals made.
Oh, boy.
So each week, we each draft a quarterback and a kicker. And then, so this week, Josh Allen had 4 total touchdowns. You had Josh Allen. I had Jaden Daniels. He had 1 total touchdown.
Yeah.
So, but the score is not 4-1. It's 1-0.
No, I just get a point.
You get a point.
A
so
point
2 points available every week.
I must have beat you 2-0.
You did beat me 2-0. What's his name? Brandon Aubrey?
Yes.
For Dallas?
Yes.
Had 94 yards and made field goals. My guy from the Denver Broncos, Will Lutz, had 72 yards worth of successful field goals. So you get a point there and are up 2-0.
Wow. Thank you.
Well done. Now, once you take a player, you cannot take him again. So I can take Josh Allen at some point, but you can no longer take Josh Allen.
Maybe out of spite, I'll take Jaden Daniels this week. He'll do better.
How would that spite me?
Because he'll do better than your 1 touchdown.
Well, he probably will.
He better.
That's literally the second worst score he could have gotten.
Green Bay ain't the Giants. That's a Thursday night.
Is that who they're? Oh, yeah, that's the Thursday night. You're in prime time. You're going to be all nervous that day.
Green Bay looked good.
I did not watch. In the morning, I watched most of the second half of Cleveland and Cincinnati. Browns gave it away. Their young kicker was not good.
Ooh, tough one.
I watched, I was doing some housework at the time, but I watched most of Seahawks 49ers. Their kicker wasn't very good either.
Terrible game as well.
The Seahawks didn't do much with the football.
You see that Brock Purdy running all over the place?
I saw him scramble a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's an elite runner.
Ooh, tough to say after that game.
And then there was the Sunday nighter.
I'm sorry.
Then there was the Sunday nighter.
Oh, boy.
Probably one of the best NFL games ever played.
Hard to dispute that. I mean, that might, I think they were saying it on the morning show, that might be the game of the year in week one.
Maybe.
And a week where 12 of 15 games were under, and then you have that bottle rocket.
81 points.
That was incredible.
Well, on everything you saw, I mean, Jackson made great plays. Well, so the three marquee names in that game would be Allen, Jackson, and Henry.
Yeah, and they all
had made spectacular plays. Now, Henry fumbled late in the fourth quarter that helped Buffalo get back in it. But then Buffalo still had to get another stop after that and go down the field and kick the field goal. But just a stunning game. What, Matt Prater joined Buffalo on Thursday?
Yeah.
Something like that.
A couple big kicks.
Runs out there and kicks the game-winning field. Just an epic game. I mean, and then this is the great thing about the NFL, and we often say this, Jay. In any given week, there are numerous NFL games that stink.
Yeah.
That are painful to watch.
You just mentioned a couple of them.
But the NFL makes an effort to minimize the chances of those games being on national television. They are on television, but there's a reason that you haven't seen a lot of the Cleveland Browns on Sunday or Monday Night Football in the last 20 years because they're usually not very good.
Yep.
So if you want to get those primetime games, you got to become a good team. And then now the NFL even has its flex scheduling where they can get well into the season and look a couple weeks ahead and say, you know what? That's 3-7 against 4-6. We're going to move this game between 8-2 teams into prime time.
Yeah, that sounds like a Sunday morning game.
Yeah, and now they're even flexing. They can't do it with impunity because networks can still block some of it, but they can even move games into Monday night. I think last year they moved a game into Thursday night.
Yep.
You got to do so. The NFL has done better than any other league, certainly in North America, by giving fans what they want.
Well, that's why they're the biggest league in North America.
Right.
By far.
They give the fans what they want. They have a good product. They have prime. I mean, everybody knows the story about Monday Night Football. Sorry. Something still the NHL, I don't think, is fully grasped. Why are these games at 8:30? I don't know.
Because they don't care.
Because they're not in Canada. It's different scheduling.
They don't care. I want to know if there's any Giants fans out there listening, watching. I feel for you. Weeping. I mean, you let Saquon Barkley go. You demote Daniel Jones and release him. Now, I get it. Daniel Jones wasn't exactly a world beater there. But now you look at what Daniel Jones did yesterday. Old Danny Dimes, they call him. 22 of 29.
What they actually call him?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
272 yards, passing TD, plus 2 rushing TDs. He led the Indianapolis Colts to a score on every single drive. Every drive ended up in points. There was not one punt. There was not one turnover. There were no kneel downs. This is the first time since 1991, regular or postseason, that a team has done that.
Really?
On the back of your quarterback that you just let walk.
Holy crap.
Out of New York. Not a great day for, sorry, Bronco Nick, but Bo Nix also set, he's in the history books now. He racked up 138 yards on 42 pass attempts.
Say that again?
138 yards passing on 42 passing attempts.
Seems low.
That's 3.3 yards per attempt, Reid. That's the 6th lowest yards per attempt since the NFL merged. That's bad. But all QBs had a rough day. They averaged 188 yards passing in week 1. That's the lowest.
That's it?
Yes.
Sorry. The NFL as a whole so far this week did not average 200 yards passing per quarterback.
Nope. 188.3 to be exact. That is the lowest recorded.
Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor.
Yeah. That wouldn't happen in the CFL.
That boing sound effect. Yeah.
That should be your cue to watch more CFL, because the CFL has good games. They have passing all over the field. 8 out of the 32 QBs had 250 yards or more passing. 8 of 32.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow. Okay.
Terrible. That's a quarter if you quick math.
That is. Well, wait, there's still 2 quarterbacks to come tonight. 8 out of 30.
Oh, there is, Reid. Oh, there is.
Or were there 32 quarterbacks used yesterday?
Used. But
okay, so some
I don't think these 2 that are playing tonight are exactly going to light the world on fire.
This is either. McCarthy. He's supposed to be the next it boy.
Yeah, McCarthy and Caleb Williams.
He's the it boy.
He is the it boy. But I mean, they do have.
I think that's what they're calling him. Here comes the it boy. This is us calling a game in the 50s. Hey, Jay, here comes this new J.J. McCarthy lad. You know, I've been hearing around the field here. He's the it boy. He sure is, right?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if either of these passed for more than 250 yards.
Pin him up next to Betty Page on your fridge. He's the it boy. Marilyn Monroe got nothing on J.J. McCarthy. He'll blow your skirt up.
Hey, that's a new voice. That's 6. I think we've got 6 now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. What do you call that guy? Postmaster?
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Or
the 1950s football guy.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Here comes the National Football League. We got the Vikings of Minnesota taking on the Bears of Chicago. Watch out for that it boy, J.J. McCarthy.
He's the it boy on our show.
He's now the it boy.
He's the it boy. Well, we'll see how it goes tonight for the it boy.
Where's the game again?
Chicago.
Oh, it's in Chicago.
Soldier Field.
Isn't Caleb Williams underwhelming?
Extremely.
Based on last year? Right, because he was taken first and Jaden Daniels was taken second.
He's the not it guy.
He's the
or not it boy. You know what? I hope Chicago gets it together. That could be an extremely tight.
Let's hope Caleb Williams doesn't have a sophomore slump.
Ooh, I don't know if it could get worse
because he was not good as a rookie.
Well, you essentially that's why I'm on the under. I don't like unders. I'm not an under guy. I always cheer for the over. But I don't see it.
Glen Suitor is coming up next to talk about the Elks and about the Canadian Football League. Jay's going to have a great story about having a bit of a celebrity crush, quite frankly.
Well, take you back
on Glen Suitor. We'll have the oil understood for GCL Diesel ahead as well. Here is Zachary Kubish.
From Chicago, the Bears host the Minnesota Vikings to close out Week 1 in the NFL. Swing by Sally's Sports Barn Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road to catch the game with the one and only Lieutenant Air. Kickoff goes at 6:15, and Russell Wilson has been named QB1 for the Giants leading into Week 2 after his team was held to just field goals in their 21-6 loss against Washington. The Giants challenge the Cowboys on Sunday, and meanwhile, Kendrick Bourne is back with the Niners, joining the squad on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Bourne has experience with both the Patriots and 49ers, playing 8 years in the NFL. In MLB action, the Royals and Guardians are just about to get underway, while the Red Sox meet the Athletics at 8:05. Boston sits 3.5 games back of the Jays for first in the AL East. Toronto is back in action tomorrow against Houston. On the court, there's one game in the WNBA. The Sun and Dream tip-off at 5:30. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Give them a call at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. Glen Suitor checks in on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Mike Garafolo is going to be our NFL Insider Fridays at 7:45 this year.
I don't remember a game, especially with the Cowboys, the ball was in the air off deflections or defensive player or whatnot that had the chance to be picked off as many times as it did, and the Eagles didn't pick it off. And I do think the Eagles made some adjustments. Losing Jalen Carter when you least expect it, you're going to have to make some. So I think defensively they did make some adjustments, and they got better as the game went along.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
World-renowned top psychic medium and the star of Meet the Frasers, Matt Fraser comes to River Cree Resort and Casino on September 12th and 13th for a couple of special live shows. Join Matt for 2 nights of healing, hope, and laughter. Matt has become a trusted figure for people seeking closure, guidance, and connection with their loved ones. Don't miss Matt Fraser live at River Cree Resort and Casino September 12th and 13th. Both shows are 18+. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
September is here. Although summer's entering the 7th inning stretch, the Jays are in full swing. Be ready for the baseball playoffs, and when the fall season arrives, create space with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
So I got to mention this as well. That game last night, Bills 41, Ravens 40, that was a scorigami. We had one of the people behind the scorigami website on last year. This is the website that tracks how often a certain final score has happened in the NFL or if it's ever happened before. So when we say a score is a scorigami, that means it's the first time it's ever happened. There had never been an NFL game end 41-40 before last night.
Historical.
Random trivia. Bring that up at the dinner table this evening.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Samantha, I was listening to the Reid Wilkins show with Jason. Did you know there were, you got a monocle. Did you know that was a scorigami last night? All right. And, of course, the Edmonton Elks winning 31-19. On Saturday. To discuss that and more, we got a special Voices of the Game segment for Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork with a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff. We're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. Of course, he is a fixture on the CFL on TSN. He was in the broadcast booth with Dustin Nielsen on Saturday. It is Glen Suitor checking in over the phone. Glenn, you're on with Reid Wilkins and Jason Milne. How are you doing?
How you doing, gentlemen? Happy to be on with you guys. Anything with Dustin's crew, I'm in. So count me in. Well,
we appreciate that. I used to work for 630 Ched, which was Chorus, so we didn't often have TSN people on, but I have talked to you a couple times in the past. Jay's newer to broadcasting, but this is not the first time you've talked to him, and I'm going to let Jay tell that story quickly here off the top.
Well, Glenn, first of all, thanks for coming on. I'm going to take you back to 2006, and this was down in Calgary. You were calling a game, and that year, my wife was the touchdown horse rider because Karen Drake, Quick Six.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Karen was pregnant or had just had their youngest. So my wife, who's a family friend of the Drakes, was down there riding the horse. Well, she knew that although I wasn't at all involved in this line of work, she knew that a dream of mine was to become a sports broadcaster. And I had admired you because I was a safety. I played safety my whole career, and I always looked up to Glen Suitor. So she arranged behind the scenes through Karen for Karen to take me up to the broadcast booth and meet you and ask a question about how I can become a sports broadcaster.
I love this story.
So
okay.
I go up there and I'm just like blown away that my wife has set this up and I'm going to meet Glen Suitor. So Karen and I go up the elevator all the way to the top and here you are sitting there. Hey, Jay, how are you? And I must have looked as white as a ghost because I was so nervous and because this all came together rather fast. But I asked you, I said, hey, you know, like I'm in the private sector right now. My family had their own business that I was doing, but I said, look, I really think that I could do this and I want to try this eventually. What's some advice? So you asked me what I was doing. And at that time I was doing Bears games actually with Dusty. Well, eventually Dustin, who started out doing Bears games. And you know what your advice to me was, Glenn?
I'm worried. I'm worried now.
It was great. It was great. You said, just keep doing what you're doing and keep getting in front of cameras, getting in front of microphones and doing that. So to you, I guess I owe you credit for what I'm involved in now. Who would have thought?
Well, Jay, I appreciate it, man. And listen, it's you've earned it. That's the work, right? But it's the reps. It's attacking it always with the thought. I always use the word professionalism. So whenever it's a controversial topic or it's a topic where a guy's been fined or thrown out or suspended or what did he do off the field, and you know, all those times that we come into these kind of situations, I always think to myself, be professional. And I see a whole bunch of people that aren't and don't do that on a regular basis, and sometimes social media has a lot to do with that. But that's my advice to any of the young people coming up trying to become broadcasters is bury yourself in the part, lots and lots of reps, save everything. So every time you're on camera, every time you're doing a hit or a wrap up or a summary or whatever it is, always save it. Keep it as part of your resume. And the more reps that you do, the better you'll feel and the more comfortable you'll feel. And bury yourself in the sports too. You know, I'm other than the last 4 hours where I was fishing with my son on the west coast of Vancouver here, I'm studying film, right? I'm studying video. I'm watching games back. I'm looking for crutch words that I use all the time that I shouldn't be doing. You know, don't want to get caught in crutch words. Is there different ways to explain an RPO curl route? You know, those type of things, and trying to continue to improve. So I'm happy you're in, and I'm happy that I could help in any little way. That's a cool story, and I vaguely remember it. I didn't get on the horse though that day, did I?
No, we tried.
I remember one time right around that time we were doing, I think it was a Labor Day thing, and I got up on the horse. I think that was Karen though that arranged that.
Glenn, that's awesome. Thanks for that part of it. And you did give Mr. Milne very good advice. Okay, so speaking of things you said on air, the Edmonton Elks are kneeling down Saturday, and you said this is the biggest upset of the year in the Canadian Football League. There have been some upsets, but I was looking back at it, I'm like, well, yeah, I guess maybe Glenn has a point there. 48 hours later, still feeling that way, and I guess your keys to how the Elks got it done.
Yeah, I am. I really am. Just as hot as Calgary's been. I mean, there was the one rain game they lost to Ottawa. They lost to Ottawa a second time. But, you know, they've been so hot and good on three phases. You go back to Labor Day, the Stamps had the big return by Eric Brooks, and that was where all of a sudden their special teams was suddenly contributing as well. But just a stellar defense, maybe the best in the league leading up to that game a couple nights ago. And, you know, and Vernon Adams, who didn't have his best game on Labor Day, but, you know, he's played great all year. And he's a discussion in the MOP talks, at this point in the season. So, yeah, I think it was the biggest upset, because the other thing with Edmonton is they've had troubles getting rid of the mental demons of just being a team that can't find a way to finish games and win games. And, you know, it's a process that you have to go through. And believe me, I was on a lot of bad teams and then some good ones and then a championship team. And the process takes longer than fans would like, certainly longer than coaches and GMs would like. But you kind of have to hit rock bottom, be down there in the standings, losing games you should be winning, and you slowly figure it out. And I think the Elks are there. I mean, I made a comment in the game around the fourth quarter that it was the most aggressive I've seen their DBs all year. And when you are, when guys are running out routes, curl routes, and DBs are coming downhill trying to intercept those, I think that's when you can see the level of confidence. They're starting to believe they can win. They're starting to not try to win, not hope to win, but believe they can win. And that was one of the top teams, if not the top team. I think we have to give it to Saskatchewan, but right now that was one of the top teams in the league. So it is the biggest upset of the year so far for me.
You know what? I like how you put that, and I'm glad you specifically brought up the defensive backs, because we had J.C. Sherritt on the show about 45 minutes ago, and we asked him about the number of pass breakups that they had, or Calgary receivers who got hit hard immediately upon getting their hands on the ball. And J.C. said it's guys who have been growing throughout the year and now recognizing that they can make a play. They can get there in time. They have seen something before. And you obviously played defensive back. Like, is that the mental hurdle, knowing that I can get there in half a second and make that play? I don't have to wait to make a tackle.
Yes, exactly. Rather than play safe, know what's happening in front of you, but just not feeling confident enough to go ahead and take a shot at it, take a shot at the ball. And, when you sit back, it takes a while to figure that out. I mean, even veterans get into that. If you're losing and you're, even close games that you think you should have won, or you played better than the other team, but you lost, you're still trying to find a way to win. Your defensive backfield is not wanting to give up the big play. And because that is implanted in your head, you just are reluctant to jump those routes. You're reluctant to take a chance and cut underneath the throw, those kind of things. And it's coaching, and I'm sure JC has kept reminding that group, look, it's okay if you miss. If we just catch him for 15-yard gains every throw, they're going to move down the field and score anyway. So go ahead and take some chances, like calculated chances, not guessing, but route reading, understanding the throwing motion of the quarterback you're facing, and then jump the routes. And I thought they were excellent. The other reason, guys, that I think it was a big upset were the injuries on defense to Edmonton going into that game. I mean, you lose Jake Serezna, you lose the two linebackers in Niles Morgan and Nick Anderson, and yet with backups, with very little experience and a young secondary now, they're starting to figure out that we can go ahead and be aggressive. And if you miss, so what? We'll line up and play again.
TSN's Glen Suitor joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm glad you brought up that D line, Glenn, because I wanted to talk to you about that. As Reid alluded to, we had J.C. Sherritt on earlier, and they were rotating through that defensive line. They were bringing in fresh legs, and they were getting home. And you speak to the defensive backs that believed they could get there. Well, you know how that works. It's all together as a team. The more pressure you get, the more unsettled Vernon Adams was. It leads to balls that you think you can get. Is this a positive sign from you? Have you seen the progression and the growth from defensive coordinator J.C. Sherritt?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if they kept trending the way they were going in the first four games, at some point the coaches are going to feel the brunt of that, and J.C. Sherritt as a young coordinator, I remember talking to Dustin after one of the games thinking, pretty soon, people are going to start criticizing the play calling on defense because the personnel looks so good on paper and they were underachieving. But again, now that we see how they can play, and even with all the injuries and how that system now, once they've really locked into it, now they can play aggressively. They can play fast. They're not thinking out there. They're not waiting. They're not hesitating. They're just going after people. And I think we are seeing the progression now, and it's right about the right time where it should be happening. So I think J.C. Sherritt can say, yeah, we expected it there to be some growing pains here. And there were early in the season, and now we're seeing that we were patient with this group, even the backups and the rotating players. We were patient with them, and now we're seeing the results. So yeah, I think JC is his system has evolved and they've become comfortable with it. The other thing is with this D line, coaches guys all year now are dressing 8 to 10 defensive linemen, and with limited roster space, in the Canadian ratio that they got to deal with too, I find that at times really interesting. It hasn't been like that for years past. In years past, it may be 2 backup D linemen for your front 4. So 6 dress total. Now they're dressing 10, 9. And, when you do that, you only have maybe 2 extra linebackers and maybe 1 extra DB. And what happens there is now your cover teams take a bit of a hit because D linemen generally don't cover kicks. And maybe that's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot more returns. So for touchdowns. So, there's always a trickle down effect. And one last thing with the combination you mentioned between D-line and DBs. I've always said, and as a former DB, I will always just, swear by this. A great pass rush always trumps great coverage. So we could be in the back end covering down every receiver, but sooner or later with this wide field and how, just how big the field is and how much space there is, someone's going to get open. But if you get pressure, you don't have to be as good in the back end. Pressure always trumps coverage. So I'm not surprised that coaches are putting that rotation on the D-line, keeping guys fresh, and making sure they maintain pressure from start to finish.
Glenn, you've been to every stadium in the CFL. You've seen them full. You've seen them empty. That crowd that was at Commonwealth, was that one of the most electric crowds you've seen at that stadium in a handful of years?
I think it was. It's sometimes I'm locked into my headset when it comes to actually hearing the noise. A couple of times I removed them on big plays just to hear the crowd erupt. The size of the crowd too was excellent. This is a team that has struggled for so long that you were starting to see the crowds get smaller and smaller. And I always said to Dustin, you guys know that city better than anybody. And I asked Dustin all the time, they'll be back, right? If they have a team they can be proud of, not a team that wins every game, that's impossible. But if they have a team they can be proud of, that is in every game, that is battling, that has guys like Justin Rankin that get you up out of your seat. I mean, how good of a game was that? But as soon as that happens, and I think that's what we're seeing right now with Edmonton right back in the playoff hunt, I think those fans will be back. I really do, because Edmonton's too good of a sports city. It really is. It's not. I don't know. It's not like the city out in Toronto or even Vancouver, really, where unless you're winning, it can be tough. But I think Edmonton fans will be back. That was the example of it in the Labour Day rematch, and they got a team they can be proud of now. They're in the hunt. The Elks are in the hunt.
Glenn, I got one more for you. It's Reid again. Thanks for being so generous with your time. We started with a bit of a story. I want to end there because there's something that's in my mind, and sometimes I say this to other people, and I'm like, I think Glen Suitor said this once, but it's been a while, so I can't remember it. True or false, your first game of 3-down football was your first game in the Canadian Football League?
Yes, true. Yeah, I played at Carson Graham High School in North Vancouver. That was my high school, and that was 4 downs. And then at Simon Fraser, and we were in the Evergreen Conference at that time. So we were playing Idaho Vandals, Montana State, went down to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in California, those kind of teams. And, so my very first rep in 3-down football was in training camp in Saskatchewan after I was drafted. And the first thing I noticed when I got off the plane almost was just how big the field was. I thought you could land the plane on our field. but it just, because I played defensive back and quarterback in high school and then corner in college at SFU. And, when you can use the sideline to your advantage as a corner on an American field, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. Let's not go there. But because I love both leagues, so I don't know why we have to choose. But as a corner, I always use the sideline as an extra man. And when I got to Canada, and I looked at the field, and then I moved to free safety. I was a backup corner my first year in Saskatchewan. Not when I got to Canada, when I got to the Riders, I should say, and started playing Canadian rules. I just looked at that field and I went, wow, like the free safety has a mile to go to get over there to help out on those slot backs or the short side wide receiver. And the corners, forget about using the sideline as a helper. Like that's over. And listen, I know I'm probably going too long here, but when Randy Ambrosie, there's things that I questioned that he tried to do, and there's things that I don't think he should have done, and then there's some things that he did well, and one of them was moving the hash mark. When he moved the hash mark in, he balanced up the field, and now there is no real short side, and it has opened up offenses. Scoring is up, and those big returns are up. That was a good thing. I think moving that hash mark, moving them closer together, was a good move.
Glenn, it was a good move for Jason Milne to reach out to you to come on our show because we love talking to you. Thanks for those kind words about Dustin and Edmonton Sports Talk as well. Great perspective on the Elks. And I don't know, maybe someday the three of us can go on a bit of a horse ride and we meet somewhere in rural BC halfway, and we'll go on a bit of a pilgrimage on horseback. I don't know.
Well, if we're in BC, we'll horseback down to the dock. You guys jump on my boat and we'll go fishing.
Now we're talking. Hey,
I love it.
Great plan. Thanks so much for this, Glenn. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Glen Suitor, TSN analyst, and of course, former safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and holder. Don't forget that. Ridgeway 89. All the Rider fans are thinking that as well. He's great. I didn't have him on Inside Sports a lot because there was a bit of you don't have TSN guys on because they were on 1260. But he was awesome. Good explanation. Good perspective on the Elks defense. And that I wanted to bring that up because that is a fascinating story. He played high school football in Vancouver where they played NFL rules. He went to Simon Fraser where they played American rules, I guess, not necessarily NFL.
Well, it was NCAA at the time.
Rules, but four downs, and then he came to the Canadian Football League with Saskatchewan, and all of a sudden was like we're on a runway size field, as he said.
Well, and it's funny because he said, and the safety has to cover so much field.
Which you did.
But here's the thing. In NCAA, even though it's a skinnier field, there's two safeties.
Oh, that's a good point.
So you get to Canadian rules, not only is the field much wider, but there's only one safety.
Yes.
That must have been a real shock to the system.
Yeah, but he's a great broadcaster. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of fans now who will know Glenn probably strictly as a broadcaster, but he was a darn good player as well. Second round pick of the Riders, 15th overall. Back in 1984. So, but he kind of said it. I mean, he talked about the Elks building and going through a lot of pain. Is this a corner turned? We hope so. You know what I'm like? I'm always one when someone makes a claim. I always start to think like, is that accurate? Well, this feels like a turnaround game. Well, 2 years ago, the Elks won the Labour Day rematch on the Queen's Wave game, right? And Trey Ford had an exciting game. It was hoped that was going to be a turnaround. It wasn't.
Yep.
Last year, they swept the Labour Day series. It was hoped that was going to be a turnaround. It wasn't. Now, last year, Calgary stunk. So it's not as if in the last 2 or 3 years there haven't been some nice wins by the Elks. But I think, maybe the hope is higher because, this isn't, as I said, a coaching staff hanging by a thread. It's not a GM hanging by a thread. It's not a team president hanging by a thread. And maybe there's something here that is not maybe. I think there is something here that's more sustainable. I don't know how they're going to do over the last 6 games. There's some tough ones in there, but as I said, the path to the playoffs is there. And man, oh man, I said this at the beginning here, even just making the playoffs after 4 years out and distantly out a couple times, Like just the value of having a playoff game, getting that experience. So hopefully this is a step towards that.
When's the last time this team had a returner that every time he touched the ball, you could honestly say, well, this could break. He could break.
Yeah,
this.
that's a really good point.
Okay, when's the last time this team had a feature running back that you could also say the same thing about? And when's the last time this team had a quarterback that when he took the field, you feel like, okay, this offense can move the ball consistently?
Right.
Those have been missing.
Yes.
And those are the little things that add up that make this team now relevant. And you're seeing it now, albeit they have to continue this.
Yeah.
If they go stub their toe in Toronto, then it's almost all for naught. Like they need to take advantage of this and capitalize on this momentum.
Yeah. Well, and JC was on earlier and mentioned the crowd reaction on the Julian Grant touchdown. If Leak would have scored on that,
right?
Well, I know there's no roof on the stadium, but the roof would have come off the stadium. Dustin's glasses would have been blown back in the broadcast booth. But great to have Glen Suitor on the show. JC Sherritt was on earlier. Great to have you tuning in, however you are consuming us, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or on YouTube. Let other people know where they can find us. I told the story earlier today about a gentleman who came in to collect a prize that he won on the morning show because he just started listening to the morning show on Cruise FM. And I introduced myself, and he was like, Reid, what are you doing here? I was like, I got a show here. When is it on? It's on 3 to 6, baby. So let people know where they can find all our great programming here at EST. All right, that was Voices of the Game. Glen Suitor for Windsor Plywood Leduc. We have the Oil Understood, buying or selling, all coming up. Here's the Coop.
NFL Week 1 wraps up. From the Windy City, Caleb Williams and his Bears host J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings join Lieutenant Eric for the game at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road with kickoff at 6:15. And for the Giants, head coach Brian Dable announced that the team will roll with veteran Russell Wilson for Week 2 against the Cowboys after New York was held without a touchdown in their 21-6 loss to the Commanders yesterday. In San Francisco, the 49ers have signed Kendrick Bourne to a one-year deal worth $5 million. Bourne with 8 years of NFL experience suiting up for both the Niners and the Patriots. In 11 games dot the MLB slate, there's 3 games underway, all runless. It's Kansas City against Cleveland, the Nationals and Marlins head-to-head, while the Mets battle the Phillies. And off to the WNBA, Connecticut visits Atlanta for 5:30 tip-off for the lone game on the slate today. The Oil Understood brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The EST Hangout.
That is a signature of a win as you're going to have for the Edmonton Elks in the last number of years. I don't know the last time they had a signature win of that magnitude. Last year, they got wins. They beat Saskatchewan, but Saskatchewan wasn't this Saskatchewan necessarily last year. Calgary was crap last year. It's been a long time since the Edmonton Elks have had a signature win. It was a dominating performance.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Win big this NFL season at the Canadian Brewhouse presented by Bud Light. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 60, plus prizes like smokers, Bud Light coolers, and a trip to an NFL home opener next season. Enjoy $1 off Bud Light and Budweiser tankards. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
The leaves are turning, and just like golf season, time is running out to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Okay, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Great to have Glen Suitor on the show. A lot of talk about the Elks today. Really encouraging victory over the Calgary Stampeders a couple days ago. So in Toronto, Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock game. So we'll have the Green and Gold kickoff show here on Edmonton Sports Talk with my buddy Jay Milne and my other buddy Matthew Awanek. And they're on after the game for the Green and Gold post-game show as well. We are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard. All right. Coob is here as well. We're going to have a fun week here. Talking Elks, talking Oilers, maybe talking Guinness Book of World Records. Probably. Golfing. That'll be fun. We already got an athlete of the week lined up for this week.
Yes, we do.
And is this a golfer, a young lady who's a golfer?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's on
fun.
Thursday?
Tis.
This will be fun.
We must.
It's going to be real fun. Charlie in the nasty chat makes you wonder. Connor McDavid has maintained his intent is to stay in Edmonton and win with the Oilers, but if that's the case, why hasn't he signed yet? Weird or what? Well, that is a good way to take us into the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. Sorry, Jay. I mistimed it. Well, I'm trying to bring you into that. I guess to answer specifically to Charlie, well, I'll give Jay credit for this stat. What were the dates?
September 16th
for Crosby last year.
September 29th for Kachuk. That was back in Calgary days.
Okay.
And then, what was it, September 3rd for Leon?
Because that was our first day last year. Weird he hasn't signed yet. I would say not necessarily. I would say some of the dialogue, well, I would not dialogue. Some of the things McDavid has said, now I think he's being as honest as he can be. I mean, he said last week that he's making a decision that's going to affect the next possibly 9 years of his life. If you look at the remaining year on this deal and then the potential of an 8-year extension with the Oilers. So he has been that. I guess, the more I thought about this, and a couple people said this to me over the weekend as well, it's maybe kind of weird that he did a couple of one-on-one interviews on Thursday. Mark Spector, then the story was published on sportsnet.ca, and with Ryan Rishaug. These were separate interviews, I believe, done over the phone. Ahead of his media scrum that he did on Friday. Now, this is, I want to be clear here, this is not about Speck or Rishaug. Good for them lining up the interviews. Apparently, Connor's agent was involved. I don't know who initiated it or how it was set up or the motivation for doing it. I guess looking back on this, and this is going to sound a little self-serving maybe, but other people brought it up to me. It was kind of weird. He did those interviews in advance and then sort of seemed a little annoyed at some of the questions he was asked on Friday because he felt they were repetitive. And my response would be like, dude, like if you don't want to be asked the same questions over and over again, don't do multiple media availabilities. Like, don't do 2 each with one person each, and then, or like, don't do one and then another one and then one in front of it. Like, what do you expect?
And he's not the most, hey, I want to do a sit-down interview with you kind of guy to begin with. Correct?
Right.
So I don't know. I thought that was odd. Certainly. But what's the messaging behind it then? What's that say?
I don't know.
That's the, well, $17 million question, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Charlie's the Jets fan, right? He says, I hope the Jets sign Kyle Connor soon. That makes me nervous as you guys. Well, Kyle Connor's a very good player, as is Connor McDavid. You can text us 780-218-9999, afternoon inbox, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. You can post in the nasty chat on YouTube. Email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. Okay, now, Mr. Milne, very creative man, has a theory.
Yeah.
Was it a theory or is it a what if?
Oh, it'd be an amazing what if.
Okay.
Morgan Wallen's here Friday and Saturday.
Now, is he the biggest country music star in the world? Well, I guess that'd still be Taylor Swift. Well, she's everything now.
She's not country anymore.
Okay. She's just music in general.
She's just pop.
Okay.
I would say Morgan Wallen for sure would be up there. I'd say definitely top 5.
Okay.
But on this his tour that he's on that's coming to Edmonton, every time he's walked out to his show, he's done it with local celebrities from that area. He did it in Toronto, he did it with Jose Bautista. Brett Favre walked out with him. Who was the guy I taught? Joe Dirt walked out with him. And in character, Joe Dirt.
That's David Spade, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Young walked out with him. I mean, these are massive celebrities of that area. Pitcher hit the bird.
Oh, Randy
Johnson walked out with him.
Okay.
So he's doing this in every stop.
Okay.
So what if he walked out on Friday night with Connor McDavid on his side, a newly extended Connor McDavid? Wouldn't that be just diabolical?
McDavid's planning the extension around the Morgan Wallen concert.
And it would be so funny that all of this just happened it didn't really matter. It was just waiting for Morgan Wallen to come to town so he could walk out with them.
Right.
I mean, who's a bigger superstar in Edmonton? Nobody.
Correct.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
So I had Benny do a little edit here. I think Coob's got it up on the YouTube of Morgan Wallen walking out with Connor McDavid.
This is a generated image.
Yes, right. This is not legit.
This is not reality.
This is not reality. But wouldn't it be something? That crowd, they might. Well, I don't. They would break records for sound barrier.
Yeah, probably.
If that happened. And he was just newly extended. So that's now my new guess. Originally, I had said it was going to happen the day after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Because that was the 1-year anniversary of Leon getting extended.
And now you're saying Friday.
Now I'm saying Friday. What date would that be then? Today's the 8th? 12th? 13th?
The 12th is Friday.
12th.
Friday the 12th.
There it is. There's when the extension's going to happen. And he'll commemorate it with walking out with Morgan Wallen down the tunnel at Commonwealth Stadium.
All right. So Morgan Wallen's doing 2 shows at Commonwealth. And are the Elks at Clark all week?
The Elks, they put on their media schedule this week. All practices are at Clark.
Because they're building the stage?
Yeah.
So Morgan Wallen is doing 2 concerts at Commonwealth Stadium.
Yes. And they're probably both sold out, if not close to sold out.
Really?
He's a massive star.
I got to check his tour dates now. Tour. Well, this is the end of the tour. I think it's the end of the North American tour. Because after this, he's in United Kingdom in a couple of weeks. No, late October. I can't see the full tour.
What a way to go out in Edmonton.
Yeah, well, where else would you want to cap it off?
The mecca of country music.
I can't find the tour. But he's played other large venues.
Massive. It's a stadium tour. Tom Dixon's mustache says no, he'll walk out with Fajardo.
Well, Fajardo will be in Toronto. That would be funny, though.
That would be.
Okay, let's add to the off-topic topic. Our first off-topic topic is, we had some funny ones coming in about this. What world record would you want to create and then hold? Because a woman in New Zealand holds the world record for the fastest 100-meter sprint running on Lego. So she came up with something. I think the best one we had so far was how many cheese slices could be stacked on a human body.
Yes.
That was a good one. So wrong answers only, 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, or in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Which Edmonton celebrity will Morgan Allen walk out with on Friday? Wrong answers only.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wrong answers only?
Wrong answers only.
Well, Strudwick would be pretty good.
Well, Strudwick would be actually pretty good.
That would be pretty electric if he walked out. That would get a big buzz too. What about Stauffer put on rollerblades? Skating.
Just
he's a
Dustin
good skater.
Nielsen.
In a gold bodysuit.
Just get Dusty out there.
Yeah. Nielsen would be good.
What game is Dusty doing this week? Do we know? I don't even know.
Barry the Cheater says the push-up guy from White Avenue.
Oh, there we go. Oh, the banjo guy.
The
rollerblading banjo guy.
That'd be good.
That would be a good one. That would be a really good one. Because then he could play some of the songs with him.
I'm just trying to think of ones that would be just terrible. Like the mayor.
Well, any politician.
Any politician. Yeah. It'd be bad.
Oh my goodness.
What about like honestly, what about
smash the Pelicans, says VR.
Of course.
There we go.
What about if they brought like if they flew Wayne in for it? Like that's how big this guy is.
I don't think Gretzky would come in for it though.
You don't think so?
But he's that big, eh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He really is.
Chat GTP says he's the biggest country music star today.
Oh, by far.
Followed by Jelly Roll, Luke Combs, Zach Bryan, and Chris Stapleton. I thought Chris Stapleton was a safety for the Vikings. That's a very defensive back name, isn't it?
Corey B says Peter Pocklington and Peter Chiarelli.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Shoddy Mills.
That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Chris says Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Rip City Sepp says, what about supersized Indiana Jones?
Well, he is a celebrity.
Morgan Wallen and the Big Uke coming down the runway to play some songs. Okay, we got to do the 5 o'clock break. Buying or selling coming up. More of your interesting feedback. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
2 guys and a goalie.
I don't like that people are like making him out to be a villain in the negotiation. If anyone's like, well, how dare he needs to take less so that they can win. Give your head a shake. That's such a crazy attitude. You've seen enough ups and downs and you lost twice in the finals and there is zero obligation in that negotiation to take a hometown deal. It's like he should get what he's worth. He's the best player in the world.
2 guys and a goalie presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Looking for a smart alternative to heating and cooling your home? Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson, your cold climate heat pump specialists. We'll explain how Trane heat pumps offer a reliable, cost-effective heating and cooling solution. Order your Trane heat pump now and take advantage of the Canada Greener Homes Loan Initiative. Trane, it's hard to stop a Trane. From the most experienced HVAC company around, family owned and operated for nearly 50 years. Visit weiss-johnson.com.
Back to school? Really?
Yay! Really? As things settle back into a routine in your home, you may need extra space. Sentinel Storage is here to help with a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
coming from San Francisco. Multiple reports are saying that 49ers star George Kittle will be out multiple weeks with a hamstring injury he suffered yesterday on the first drive against the Seahawks. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport saying that it will be 3 to 5 weeks. And staying in Cali, Brock Purdy of the 49ers also sustained a left shoulder injury and a toe injury during the game, with his status to be determined later this week. And tonight it's J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings battling Caleb Williams and the Bears to put a bow on Week 1 in the NFL. Catch the game down at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge to enjoy the action alongside Lieutenant Eric at Century Casino on Fort Road. Kickoff for that one goes at 6:15. In the majors, there's 3 games underway, 11 games on the docket. 2 games are in the second. It's the Guardians leading the Royals 1-0, while the Marlins trailed the Nationals 1-0. We also see the Mets and Phillies runless in the first. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of today's Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Nice to click. Click. Nice to click.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon, 7 minutes after 5. Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. It's time to turn up the fun with the all-new Play Alberta app, your digital destination for casino, live dealers, lottery, instants, and, of course, sports betting like Jay's Play of the Day. What is your Play of the Day again, my young friend?
It's tonight's Monday Night Football. Under 44 points.
Under 44 points.
Pains me to do this, Reid. Pains me.
Pains you to suggest an under.
Suggest an under, but, you know, I could be completely out to lunch here, but that's what this, you know, history has shown us on Monday night and this first weekend, especially, very low scoring. 12 of the 15 games went under.
No, but the Falcons, the Vikings got the It Boy as the quarterback.
The It Boy.
Why don't people think the It Boy is going to score a lot of points for them?
Well, I mean,
and don't they have J.J. Jefferson? What's his name?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Not J.J.
You're right.
Jefferson. He's J.J.
But
he's good.
How much of that are you ready to unleash? You know, until, you know, when the bullets are live, as they say, different things happen. Quarterbacks react differently. There's a lot of pressure on J.J. McCarthy. So I would imagine more of a clear, concise, smaller, you know, sample of J.J. McCarthy.
The Vikings will win, will they not?
I don't know. It depends what the Bears are. I mean, the Bears have been...
They are what we thought they were.
And we let him off the hook.
We let him off the hook.
Who knows, Reid? This is a real toss-up. A real toss-up.
I'm going to say it is 23-6 for the Vikings, which would be under.
Very much so. I mean, right now, the line, it's a toss-up. It's a pick-em. The Chicago Bears are 1-point favorites. The line has already moved to under 43. So you're getting 1 extra point on Jay's Play of the Day anyways.
You know what that makes me say?
Whoa! Whoa!
Our colleague Jasmine in the Nasty Chat, Jefferson is vibing RN in warm-up. I'm going to read that like in the least way, and the opposite of how Jasmine meant it to be read. Jefferson is vibing RN in warm-up. Is that how you'd say that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the tone she means with that.
This is a good one. This was back to who should Morgan Wallen walk out with.
Our new off-topic topic for William Huff.
Brad from Crossfield says, I'd say you get Dusty and LTE in full gentleman attire.
Oh, my goodness. I'd be outraged.
Reid would love that. Lacombe Drew says if Morgan Wallen doesn't come out with Gager, then what are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
I agree.
Gager could be slinging hot dogs while he's walking down the runway or wherever they come out.
Bronco Nick says there's only one answer for Morgan Wallen. The bookbinder.
I see quite a few people have come to watch you perform, Mr. Wallen. What would you say? Perhaps you make a diary of this evening, perhaps include some photographs, and I could bind it together. A collection of your memories for the Edmonton stop on your tour. What do you say, Mr. Wallen? I am the bookbinder, the last one in Alberta. I think I hear him coming now.
Paul Amaral says, Seahawk Paul, I'll change your name in the chat. Morgan Wallen will walk out with Gene Principe, and Gene will have a vote for my wife t-shirt.
No, that would be something if it was Gene. Gene, I would love to see get that sort of attention. Yeah. Gene deserves it.
Yeah, he's great.
Gene ran the half marathon.
Did
we talk about that already? I can't remember.
I saw him topless. He ran past me.
He ran? Wait a minute.
Well, on the turnaround.
Oh, on the turnaround, yeah.
So when he was coming back and I was still going to the halfway mark, I saw him, and he was topless.
Gene Principe, I think he started running 3 or 4 years ago. He did a full. I think he dove right in with a full. I talked to him briefly last week when I saw him at the captain's skate because I said, hey, man, like, how's it going? And he started with the 2:10 pace bunny, I believe.
Okay.
Or maybe or 2:15. Or how many, was it every 15 minutes or 10 for the bunnies? Because you started with the 2:30 bunny?
2:30. There was a There might have been a 2. There was a 2. They're 20-minute intervals. That's what it was. 2:10, 2:30, 2.
There's no 2 hour? Well, there must be a 2 hour one.
Yeah, there had to have been.
Maybe in
it's
that
15.
Time. Well, I think the slower people run, the less frequent the bunny would be appearing.
Sure.
But anyway, he started with the 2:10 and he did it, I think, an hour 56, an hour 58. So pretty good. And you started with the 2:30.
Yeah.
And were they walking? Did you? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did 10 ones.
You did the 10, but then you ran. How much did you run at the end consecutively?
The whole from the 102nd Ave Bridge all the way to the end. Didn't stop.
So 7K probably?
Yeah. Well, is that 7K? How
well,
how many K is
Jasper's about 4, isn't it?
Okay.
I think Jasper was about 4.
So say 5 maybe.
Okay.
5K.
Right.
But it sure helped me. Like I had juice at the end.
But like I said, usually you do better than you think you're going to do. Once you get the juices flowing on match day.
Yeah.
On race day.
Yeah, now that I know the track, next year I'll feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Knowing especially that...
I love that you're already committed to doing it again. That is so awesome.
Yeah. I was going to wear my marathon shirt today, but I didn't.
Oh, your running shirt?
Yeah.
So when I signed up, because I signed up quite late for the 5K, so the only size I could get was a double XL. And as you know, I like baggy clothes. I like looser fitting clothes.
Yeah.
But that one was too much. I was going to try to run in it, and I'm like, this is going to be, I might trip over it. I might trip over the sleeves.
They do fit. They fit spacious. I got an XL, and it's big on me.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I can't imagine
a double XL on me. Though, I mean, I got a little bit of a girth to me. Thanks to the potato chips and the beer.
Oh, slow down.
And the inactivity.
Slow down.
All right. Buying or selling is presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Where would you like me to begin, Mr. Milne?
At the beginning.
Buying or selling, it's time for the Canadian Football League to get rid of the divisional standings.
Woo.
I'm buying.
Spicy.
Okay, look, enough with the East and West division. We don't need them. It's a 9-team league. The top 6 teams should make the playoffs. Enough with this crossover bunk. Okay? Six. You want 6 teams in the playoffs? That's fine. Let the top 6 in. It is possible this year, and this happened to the Elks in 2018, that they could finish 6th overall and miss the playoffs because they'd be last in the West. Now I get it. You play a couple more games, within your own division. You have to be good in your division. Fine. But if you're 6th overall and you want 6 teams to make the playoffs, you should be in. The standings should be 1 through 6. The top 2 teams get a bye into the semifinals and then host the semifinals in the second week of the playoffs. Oh, well, Reid, what if they're in the same time zone? How would you schedule the games? Simple. You start having the CFL playoffs, one game on a Friday night, one game on a Saturday afternoon, which I suggested earlier. The standings right now would be pretty interesting. Saskatchewan first place, 10-2. Calgary second place, 8-4. Hamilton third, 7-5. So now you got Calgary trying to hang on to a bye, right? You got Hamilton trying to get one. Winnipeg fourth, 6-6. BC, Montreal, Edmonton, 5-7. When you apply the head-to-head tiebreakers, it would be that order: BC, Montreal, Edmonton. So Edmonton would currently be out of a playoff spot as they are now. Toronto and Ottawa apply the tiebreakers. Toronto would be 8th ahead of Ottawa, 9th. But think about this. How much more interesting this would be. Edmonton in 7th would only be one win out of hosting a quarterfinal, as opposed to already the Elks are very unlikely to host a playoff game because they'd have to jump all the way up past Calgary, and Calgary is 3 wins ahead with 6 games to go. Let's face it, that's not likely going to happen. It opens up so many more possibilities. It opens up different playoff matchups year after year. Yes, you could have 2 Western teams in the Grey Cup or 2 Eastern teams. So what? I don't think the Grey Cup has to be an East-West showdown. And let's remember, for a while, Winnipeg was in the West or in the East to balance out the divisions. Winnipeg and Saskatchewan have played in the Grey Cup. It didn't tear the world apart, everybody. Have the 2 best teams. Like right now, Calgary will very likely have the second best record in the league. Hamilton will be 3rd, but Hamilton will get a bye. It's not right. Fix it up. Have one league of 9 teams, overall standings. The top 6 make the playoffs. 1 and 2 get a bye into the semis. 3 and 4 host the quarterfinals and play one playoff game on a Friday night and the other on a Saturday afternoon. Bang, fixed. It's not hard.
Do you think they would still keep divisions?
No, get rid of the divisions.
Get rid of them anyways.
Get rid of the divisions. And then I know you say, well, Reid, how do you what about 18 games? You'd have to play.
Yeah, AI couldn't do it.
Okay, right. So, no, it couldn't. I'd have to do it myself. You just have pods of 3. So everybody plays every other team twice for 16 games. Where do the 2 extra games come from? Well, the top 3 teams from the previous year, you'd base the schedule on the previous year. So the top 3 teams would play an extra game against each other. 4, 5, and 6 would play an extra game against each other. 7, 8, and 9 would play an extra game against each other.
So you wouldn't do them regionally?
No.
These pods?
You'd base it on the previous year's standings.
See, I'm thinking, I like what you're saying, except the pod idea. Because the CFL, they have to take into account travel and the expenses of travel.
Okay, then if you want to do that, you could still base those.
You could go a Western
the
pod,
old division rivalries. Sure,
a Western pod, a Central pod, and an Eastern pod. Winnipeg, or Edmonton, Calgary, BC, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg.
Yeah, exactly, Jay. Exactly, exactly. And who?
Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Hamilton. Then, no, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Toronto, actually. Ottawa, Hamilton, Les Alouettes. That's Montreal, if you didn't know.
That's the Birds for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's great. Because essentially the way that it is right now, you're not having the best teams playing against each other. Correct?
Right.
At least from regular season play.
Well, you're not always having the team that should be deserving of a bye getting a bye or even a home game. Right?
Yeah. But do you think they'll ever do that?
No.
I think if there is one commissioner that would at least have an ear for it, would be Stuart Johnston.
I would hope so. Well, I brought it up to him.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to care, though it was his second day on the job.
He's probably, it's pretty early in the...
He's probably like, who is this guy? Why is he mad about this? And to me, my way is more interesting. It creates more interesting races as opposed to it's like, well, the West team can cross over into the East, but only if if Edmonton finishes 4th in the West and has the same record as Ottawa, who is third in the East. Okay? Let's say they both wind up 9-9.
Okay.
Edmonton's fourth in the West, Ottawa's third in the East. Ottawa would make the playoffs because the tiebreaker in that situation is you stay in your own division. So usually the tiebreaker is head to head. Oh, except when you're crossing over, then it's you stay in your own division. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what to tell you, bud.
Well, just tell me that I'm right and that they're going to change it.
Everything's going to be all right
in my lifetime.
You're right.
Thank you.
Everything's going to be okay.
Buying or selling what Vernon Adams said after the game on Saturday. That game was the Grey Cup for the Elks this season.
Well, I'm selling. That's terrible. That's terrible for somebody who just got embarrassed by the team that just supposedly won their Super Bowl. Did you look at Vernon Adams' numbers last week? That guy shouldn't have said diddly squat.
Oh, but he's basically saying all the Elks cared about was beating Big Bad Calgary, but Big Bad Calgary is worried about the Grey Cup. We're not going to get deterred because we lost to the Elks.
Yeah, no, the Elks.
He's suggesting that the Elks aren't capable of accomplishing anything more than this win in early September.
Yeah, okay. Go 15 for 29 for 229 yards every game, and you'll see how well you do. Or have Dedrick Mills look human and rush for 38 yards, Vernon Adams Jr. And I will say this, what the Elks were probably focused on was sweeping the Labor Day series. They didn't do that. So what's their next focus? Well, getting a split,
right?
Which they did. Now, you know what their next focus is? Winning on Saturday.
One game at a time, baby.
That's it. I just that's funny to me. That just shows the insecurity of someone when they're so worried about the other team after they just handed you a loss.
Right.
It's actually quite petty, but it's funny. This is great. That's great for the Elks. That's bulletin board material.
He's trying to belittle their victory.
Yeah. Well, why not
He's trying to say, great, everybody. You came out and cheered for a team that got to 5-7. I mean, from that standpoint, you can't argue. Like his team's 8-4. Edmonton's 5-7. You saying, oh, you're excited about getting your fifth win? We've had that for 5 weeks.
Right. In that sense, okay. But you can't say that. You just don't. That's something you just don't do. Glen Suitor was talking about being professional, saying the right things. That's when you come out and say, yeah, they were the better team today. Oh, shucks, they beat us. And move on. You don't get drawn into saying things like that unless you're concerned about things, unless you actually think, that's just like the bully mentality of a child.
Right.
Is, well, I got to say this to make them believe that I'm the man. It doesn't work at the pro level. If anything, it just makes you look and sound petty.
Calgary's interesting to watch now because it feels as if the Elks, maybe to a certain extent, has exposed maybe a crack that they have. Now, the Elks had a lot of injuries. Calgary had a very key player out, Jalen Hutchings, the defensive lineman, one of the best players in the league, not just defensive players, not just defensive linemen. This year, one of the best players in the league. So I get that, but then I also look at the stamps and say, okay, basically, without Jalen Hutchings, you allow 200 more rushing yards than you did with him. That doesn't say much for the rest of your defense.
True. And look on the other side of the ball. They're missing their starting two CFL all-star linebackers in Niles Morgan and Nick Anderson.
Right.
They're missing Jake Serezna. They're missing Robbie Smith. They have their people that are out too. So that's the CFL. It's a war of attrition. Who can step up and fill the roles best? Edmonton won that week. No, that's not to say they're going to go on and win the Grey Cup by any means, but they're moving in the right direction. This team, if you look at this team, you cannot tell me that they are not better now than they were, say, in week 4.
Right.
They are, significantly. So as a head coach, as a coaching staff, if all you need to look at is just have improvement after improvement after improvement, and you're going to reach your goals. But yeah, I just, to say that is just, it shows that you don't really believe in what you got.
He's almost saying the Elks cared about this game more than we cared about it. Is he not saying, yeah, we could have got up for this game, but we have bigger fish to fry in the next 2 months. And the Elks really are never going to play in a bigger game this season. Is that what he's trying to say?
Well, and it's a guy heading into a bye week, too, where, see you later. I'm out. I don't care. I just want to get on the plane and go home.
Right.
So there's that as well. I'm worried about BC because that's a team Calgary travels to play coming off that bye.
Right.
They might be a little owly, which would be good for Edmonton.
It would be. Want to do a couple limericks here?
Let's do it.
I got VR Montenegro sending in a limerick. The Elks dumped the Stamps in a win to savor. In Rankin we all trust, this will not waver. I have my own theory, and I'll pose the query. For record cheese stacking, what's the best flavor? Yeah, I think just like you said, the orange slices, the cheddar slices.
Well, the more I think about the cheddar slices, like the Kraft singles.
Yeah. You have to take them out of the plastic.
You would.
They're so sticky.
Well, it is a world record, Reid.
Yeah.
Can't be doing this with plastic on.
True.
But they actually might offer too much flexibility. I think you'd need a stiffer cheese. Maybe like an old cheddar. Old cheddar.
The old cheddar. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with the old cheddar. This one comes in from Bronco Nick. The Elks gutted out a victory like the old teams from history. Hockey on Friday, all rookies anyway. Might put a chicken on the rotisserie.
Oh, that's pretty good. Tell you what, we need 9 thumbs to get to 100.
Wow.
Which would really make us feel good on a Monday night. So if you are taking us in on YouTube and have not clicked the thumbs up, do it. Okay, fine. I will play the song.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
That was buying or selling for Damon Bunting. We're going to have our words of the day. More for you. Or if you've clicked the thumbs up on YouTube, share the link with somebody else and encourage them to give us a click. Let's get to 100 here. We got half an hour to do it. Here's the coup.
Some news from San Fran. Multiple sources reporting George Kittle is expected to be out 3 to 5 weeks for the Niners with a hamstring injury he sustained on the first drive against the Seahawks yesterday. Meanwhile, it's been confirmed that Brock Purdy suffered a left shoulder and toe injury in that same game, with his status to be determined later this week. And earlier we saw the Niners sign Kendrick Bourne to a 1-year, $5 million deal. While out east, it's Chicago hosting Minnesota to close out Week 1 in the NFL. Swing by Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road to catch the game with the one and only Lieutenant Eric. It all gets going at 6:15. Elsewhere, New York has confirmed that they'll stick with Russell Wilson for Week 2 as the Giants face the Cowboys. In MLB action, there's 4 games live. The Nationals and Marlins are tied at 1 apiece, bottom of the third. The Phillies have a 1-0 lead against the Mets in the second, while the Cubs trail the Braves 1-0 in the first inning. The Reid Wilkins Show continues after a brief pause. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Oil Stream.
Is this the week Connor McDavid signs stuff?
I honestly don't know. I still stand by what I said last Friday on Oil Stream, where he's going to go out there, he's going to say what he has to say. People will read between every line that they can, cause concern for the hardcores that until he's signed will be upset. I think it gets done before the season.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The leaves are turning, and just like golf season, time is running out to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
It's wing showdown time at the Canadian Brewhouse. Creamy street corn goes head-to-head with Mexican chili lime. 2 bold flavors battling for your taste buds. Grab them anytime, or just 69 cents every Wing Wednesday. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
World-renowned top psychic medium and the star of Meet the Frasers, Matt Fraser comes to River Cree Resort and Casino on September 12th and 13th for a couple of special live shows. Join Matt for 2 nights of healing, hope, and laughter. Matt has become a trusted figure for people seeking closure, guidance, and connection with their loved ones. Don't miss Matt Fraser live at River Cree Resort and Casino September 12th and 13th. Both shows are 18 plus. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
September is here. Although summer's entering the 7th inning stretch, the Jays are in full swing. Be ready for the baseball playoffs. And when the fall season arrives, create space with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Well, we're very lucky here at Edmonton Sports Talk. We have a video game machine, a stand-up arcade machine. I'm sure a lot of our regular listeners know this. By the way, we've got 100 thumbs. Do you do the little, some kind of sound effect? What do you have over there?
Let's go with this.
Are you kidding me? Hey, did you hear about that guy that has 100 thumbs? I think I hear him coming now. His thumbs are scraping against the doors. So we were very lucky here at Edmonton Sports Talk. We have a stand-up arcade machine, a classic arcade machine that has, it's over 6,000. Is it 6,400 games?
Yes.
Now, we should clarify. Okay, we want to paint the full picture here. First of all, it's awesome we have this machine. Dustin got it for us as kind of just a happy gift. He loves being a good boss. You got it from Play More Tables and Games right there on 99th. So it got delivered. I can't remember when it came. December, maybe?
Yeah.
We've had it for a while. It gets used every day. Some days more than others. Hernan's playing a full Blue Jays season from 1994.
He is.
I've played track and field, the Super Volleyball Japan. But I should also say, though, it's as cool as it is to have this machine, most of the games suck. Okay?
Yes.
There are over 6,000 games, and some of those are just different versions of the same game. So it might have the original Pac-Man game and then Junior Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man with slightly better graphics. But there are still thousands of games. Most of them suck, or there's one good version of the game. Now, having said that, there are still hundreds of games that might be fun to try or that we want to try. The latest thing that I've taken on is I'm trying to find a good golf game. This has proven to be quite difficult. So the reason we were late coming back from commercial is because I tried 3 golf games during the break and exited them all after one shot because they're so terrible.
There's got to be one.
Well, there are Golden Tee games on there. I did play a full round a few weeks ago of Jack Nicklaus's greatest 18 holes, which was okay. The putting was a little weird, but it recreated some of the great golf holes from Augusta and Pebble Beach, Europe, the British Open courses like that. But I found it really weird that a lot of these games, it doesn't tell you how far you're going to hit your club.
Yes.
And in some of them, it's you're not sure where you're aiming. It's quite hard to aim.
Is there a Mario Golf? Those are usually good.
Well, we'll have to check if there's a Mario Golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't have real life courses though.
Or Tiger Woods
it's all
golf?
like Sugarland Golf.
That's fine.
The Sugarland course.
You just need to be good, have a proper power indicator.
Yeah, a decent representation of the course.
Mechanism to aim.
Yes. Well, we tried one where I moved the joystick. I thought I was aiming. And it was actually you move the joystick to hit the ball. So the ball went off the heel of the club directly between my feet.
Didn't even make the ladies' tee.
No. Well, it went backwards more than forwards. And then it placed me just somewhere. And then I tried to hit by pulling backward and forward. And it went about 40 yards. So I don't want to take multiple sessions just to learn how to hit the ball. Like it has to be a little bit intuitive where maybe by the 4th or 5th hole, I'd have figured out how to hit, right? And then it's just playing with a more exacting execution. Is that am I expecting too much from a game?
No, but it is amazing how bad a lot of these games are.
Yes.
Until you find a good one.
Yeah.
And then you just bag it for a while. Like you found a good F1 game last week.
Yeah, really good. Like weird at first, but then really good. And you could play against multiple computer opponents or other people. The weakness of that game was now the great thing about that game was it recreated the 16 courses or whatever that were on the F1 circuit around 1990. I don't know if it was like 16 or 18. But when it tells you got to complete a lap, you got to complete a lap. Like it's not shortening it. Your car doesn't go at unrealistic speeds. So it was fun, but a little tedious.
Chris in the Nasty Chat is suggesting Hot Shots Golf.
I don't know if they have that. We'll have to check. There are a lot of golf games. Hot Shots Golf. Which was that for? What system was that for?
I don't know. It looks like Sega.
Oh, right. Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll try for that one. We'll take a look for that one.
I'm just Googling best arcade golf game.
It's going to say Golden Tee for sure, won't it?
Not at all. Like the old Nintendo Golf. Remember this one? Like that's what you need. That would be a good game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mario Golf is up there twice.
Okay.
NES Open Tournament Golf.
All right.
We'll find it.
We'll have to find one because it'd be fun to play, and then you and I could play together.
Yeah, and even Golden Tee. But because this isn't a Golden Tee machine,
yes.
Like the Golden Tee glass, you don't realize how angled down it is.
Yes.
So that when you hit the ball, you're not smashing your fingers.
we would have.
So I think if we use thumbs, we could play Golden Tee quite well. Okay. And I think that could be quite competitive.
Okay.
So you're on.
All right. Well, we'll
should
try.
Start a Golden
We'll look
Tee
up
league.
Hot Shots Golf during the next commercial, Chris. You can text in your suggestions for arcade golf and Elk stuff and Oilers stuff and off-topic topic. Who should Morgan Wallen walk out with before his concert at Commonwealth Stadium on Friday? Which Edmonton celebrity?
I'm just starting to think more and more. Like Gene Principe could be it.
He could be it. Would everybody... Okay, here's the thing. We're immersed in the sports world. Our listeners are immersed in the sports world. Does everybody in Edmonton know who Gene Principe is?
See, everyone in Edmonton would know the Oilers enough. That's the thing.
Right.
Because Gene's been associated with them for a long time.
He's been the host quite a while now.
Huh. I don't know. That would be a good one, though.
Yeah, Gene is a good suggestion.
Imagine Gene dressed up as Woody from Toys.
Why would he dress up like that? From Toy Story?
Yeah, why not?
How about Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, sure. That'd be a stretch. I mean, I know he's
more
from
famous
Edmonton.
in Edmonton, Nathan Fillion or Gene Principe? Who would you sooner meet?
In Edmonton?
Yeah.
Gene
like
Principe.
Who would Edmontonians sooner meet for lunch? Gene Principe or Nathan Fillion?
I would think Gene Principe. Now, if you're...
Nathan Fillion was in Superman.
If you're
He was in one
going
of the biggest
outside of
movies
Edmonton,
of the summer.
if you're saying in Toronto, Nathan Fillion. In LA, Nathan Fillion. In Edmonton, gotta be Gene.
Yeah, Gene's pretty cool. 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. Sundays and Mondays, 50% off the entire menu. This is available Sundays and Mondays, 5 p.m. until close. So that's today, because today is Monday. When's the Monday nighter start? Is it like 6:15?
6:20, 6:15, something like that.
6:15 Vikings at Bears. So the Bears are actually favored.
By 1 point.
Well, still favored.
Ugh. It's a pick'em.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope for the sake of Jay's play of the day, it's an ugly game.
Are you going to go home and watch this game?
No. This is part of my fired up that we never got to.
Oh, yeah, do it now.
But
fired up for Jebco, everybody.
Well, it's season. Sports season's back on. So the girls are all over God's green earth playing sports. So Daddy Uber's back in business. Excited. I'm going right from here to the Saville Center, the South Campus at U of A, to go pick up my oldest. And my wife is taking my middle daughter from there to go to another basketball practice.
Oh, wow.
So I won't get home till probably nearing the middle of the second quarter.
Okay.
But I will be keeping tabs. Don't you worry.
Chris says Ice Cube and Josh Clausen could come out with Morgan Wallen.
That would be sick.
That's a good idea.
You know, I want to say this, Coob. I've listened to that. Dusty plays it on his morning show. And I don't know why, but I've heard it a few times recently. You are awesome in that. Like, you did really good.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh,
No. But like, if I tried rapping, it would be like cringy. You actually can do it. So kudos to you. Well done.
Well, Josh and I are the same. I know I'm getting, but he's been rapping since he was like 12 years old.
Well, yeah, he's been doing it. For you to come out of the blue and lay down that sick beat.
Yeah.
Well, him and I might not be so different. Maybe
come out of the shadows.
Yeah. Why, you like weather too?
Are you performing next week at the Estes?
No.
By the way, if you want to go to the Estes, email estes@edmontonsportstalk.com. ESTYS@edmontonsportstalk.com. $10 for tickets. That's it. I mean, we're just covering our expenses. It's a great time. It's our second annual award show. Our coup, Matthew Awanek, does an incredible job putting it on. There's an after party at the Hudson's on White afterwards. We had a great time last year. That was one of my first, well, I guess the Nasty Bash, and then the first couple of times I really met a lot of the listeners.
We're going to be broadcasting live there too, right?
Oh yeah, we're doing our show from there.
That was fun.
That was awesome.
Just get popcorn. We should do movie reviews that day.
Yeah, we could.
And I can just pretend like I've watched movies. We should review some old classics. Maybe that's what we should do.
Okay.
Monday night, we'll each have a movie. Yeah, and we'll review it.
Well, Monday night's Monday Night Football. Well, like every Monday?
Well, no, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, that is a lot to ask.
I don't like movies.
Why
it's just too much time.
Too much time. The content's too racy.
I have 2 hours to just...
Yeah, I wanted to sit down and watch this movie, but I was a little uncomfortable. Well, you know what actually really irritates a lot of people?
Who came up with a dog with a cape? When did that arrive? I watched Superman for years on television. I never saw a dog with a cape.
A bit of Mike Francesa there.
Uncle Dave says, I don't even live in Edmonton, and there's few people on earth I'd rather share some linguine and a nice Chianti than Gene Principe. So there you go.
Somebody asking, when's the last day to purchase tickets? I don't know, actually.
I would imagine this
probably
week.
Right up until Monday. I don't know, day of.
I know Matt likes to have the list over to them, and there are people taking tickets. Like it's a prestigious event. I would say get your tickets purchased by Friday latest.
Yeah, you got this week for sure.
Yeah.
So ESTYS Estes at edmontonsportstalk.com if you want to get tickets to our big award show. 1 week from tomorrow, was it 7 o'clock? Metro Cinema at the Garneau, 109th and 87th. That's where people know where it is. That's where Colin Mockery was during the Fringe. Come out, have some fun.
I'll be doing this all night.
Oh yeah, those seats do lean back, both comfortably and uncomfortably at the same time. It's like, oh, I can just lean back, and think, oh, I can regulate. Oh no, I'm leaning all the way back.
Last year, I think my head was in Norman and Combine's lap.
Wow,
mine went back.
Yeah, they go back.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We are in the banquet studio. Mondays at the banquet. Bowl for just $2 all day. Grab your friends, have fun, and start your week right. Get real, play hard. The banquet. The Coob has an update.
The Niners have been hit with the injury bug once again. Multiple sources reporting that George Kittle will be out 3 to 5 weeks due to a hamstring injury that forced him to leave yesterday's season opener against the Seahawks. And Brock Purdy also sustained a left shoulder and toe injury, making him questionable for Week 2. Tonight, from the Windy City, Caleb Williams and the Bears host J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings join Lieutenant Eric for the game at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road. Kickoff goes at 6:15. For the Giants, Russell Wilson is a confirmed starter for Week 2 against the Cowboys after New York was held without a touchdown in their 21-6 loss to the Commanders yesterday. Right now in baseball, there's 4 games live. Braves extending their lead to 3-0 over the Cubs in the second, while the Guardians hold the Royals 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. The final segment of today's Reid Wilkins Show brings us back after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
EST Afternoons.
Edmonton Elks, Brock Mogensen. What does it mean for you guys and your D coordinator that it's next man up doesn't seem to phase you guys?
Well, we talk about that every week. We're here playing pro ball, and if anything happens to guys, the next man's got to come up and play a game or two or however many it takes for the dudes to come back. We had a ton of guys step up in special teams, just football. You're going out there and you're just running around trying to make tackles.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Coop, are we here? We're here, Coop. Somebody met you on Saturday. Smith TM14 says they met you on Saturday. Are we allowed to say the circumstances?
Yes.
Okay.
Weren't you at the tailgate?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were at the tailgate. It was busy down there. Busiest I've ever seen it. I mean, so many people at the game as well, but so many great fans came by the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate. We're there for every single Elks home game. Benny and I were set up down there giving away some chips, some Finnish long drink hats and koozies and stuff like that, selling some scarves. We got our own EST tent with the Reid Wilkins Show logo on it. And
well, it's one of many logos.
One of many logos. There's quite a few logos on there, but we're set up right beside the stage. And I know a home game isn't for a while, but it's a great time down at the tailgate. And we're sure to give you some Edmonton Sports Talk water as well.
All right.
I believe
So
September 27th would be the next one.
Mario Open Golf is a possibility. We played half a hole.
Yeah, it's keener.
Now, it took, again, I was off on the swing mechanics initially.
And nothing you can't figure out.
Yeah, the first time, you basically go in and you're hitting buttons to see what happens.
Yes.
It was funny, though, the course selection screen came up. It's like, please select a course. There was one option. It's like,
okay, looks like we're playing Japan.
Looks like we're playing the Japan course. And some of the golf games we tried, the text was in Japanese only.
What are they really going to say?
And then one of the games it asked if we wanted to play match play or stork play. STORKE.
Yeah.
Perhaps a bit of a typo.
Perhaps.
Yeah, just a little bit. So we'll keep trying to find a good golf game, and then tournaments. You and I tournaments.
I want to play 2-player.
Yeah. We'll play tournaments because you can save it on there.
Stork play.
Yeah, a little bit of stork play. Maybe we could have a match play event as well. Yeah, there's nothing like stork play.
Nacht play.
Isn't he a psychiatrist? All right. 107 thumbs. That's good. Good start here getting into September. 107 thumbs up on YouTube. Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app. With hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, you name it. You're not just playing for fun, you're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit $50 today with promo code YAGE50 and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started, which is pretty cool. Amishman19 says the Tecmo League better watch itself. Has there been a Tecmo League game since we moved to the new office?
No, sir.
How come there hasn't been?
The leaks got it.
All I heard about was Tecmo. Anybody who doesn't like Tecmo's a loser. Reid, you have to play Tecmo.
I joined.
Tecmo.
Hey, I'll take on anybody. I have to get in some games against Dusty. So I hereby challenge Dusty to a game.
All right.
Whenever that is.
Let's do the words today. Here we go.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right. The first word of the day is sanguine. Sanguine. Now, I would have pronounced this, just so you know, I would have looked at this word and said sanguine.
So I would have said sanguine. Sanguine.
You know this word or something? Or, what's going on?
I believe it means
sanguine.
I believe it means sort of
where's our ticker?
Like mellow or low key.
Quite opposite, actually.
Oh, it means the opposite.
Would you like me to use it in a sentence?
Well, now you gave me a big hit. Well, I'm terrible.
The young group of entrepreneurs is sanguine about the future of their business.
Enthusiastic and excited?
I'll give you half points.
Well, no, I don't even.
I'll give it. So the actual definition.
Get nothing for the definition.
A formal word that almost always describes someone who is confident and hopeful.
Okay, yeah, I do not get it. I don't think I should get anything for the definition. For some reason, I thought it was. Yeah, well, I didn't know. It's weird. I was so confident in the spelling and completely clueless on the definition.
Sanguine.
That was not good at all.
1 out of 2 on the first word.
Yeah, I got the spelling. At least I got something right.
Second word of the day: mollify.
Say that again.
Mollify.
Oh. Crap. Well, it's one of 2.
Mollify.
I think I'm going to go against my first instinct this time. Because Mollify. Got it. Okay. I should know this one as well, but I don't think I do. I'm going to say it kind of means to appease or to calm down. Oh, I got it!
To mollify someone is to make them less angry. Mollify can also mean to reduce in intensity.
So
the celebrity statement was intended to mollify critics.
So I said to appease or to calm down.
Yeah, that's good.
So not
less angry, calm down. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't use the correct.
Ding, ding.
You like that one? Okay.
Yeah. 3 out of 4.
You're giving me a full point for the definition?
100%, Reid.
Wow. Okay.
Well done.
Well, I'm a bit of a wordsmith.
You done shocked me, boy.
Well, you know what they say.
Oh, Papa Homer, you are so learned.
Learned, son. It's pronounced learned.
There we go. That is, words of the day. We always do, too. That's a pretty fun segment.
Yeah, it's fun. Love it.
The off-topic topic for William Huff. We had several. We had the world record one soon. So we're going to try to get Rob James on. What's his name?
Yeah.
Is it Rob James? He holds the Guinness World Record for most golf holes played in a 24-hour span. Well, we'll have to find out. I'm going to text him after the show.
Okay.
See if we can get him on tomorrow. We'll talk more about the Elks, whatever Oilers storylines they are. We're back tomorrow 3 to 6. But, of course, our live stream resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, 6 a.m. to 9. They're on Cruise FM as well, 95.7, so you can catch them there. But all the great stuff with EST is on our streaming platforms throughout the day as normal. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and the glue guy, Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Have a great night.